Spanner in the works. Back to the works. Them better like you're too much on the track. Them flows are bloody berserk. Spanner in the works. Go hard till it hurts. How many man do you know who can drop 1 million flows on a verse?
Yo! Welcome to episode 5 of Spanner in the Works podcast. It's me, Tiz.
Myself, Sonny Black.
And we're back once again with 5 episodes. You want to can I quickly tell you something?
Go on.
Something like 0.1% of podcasts ever made make it past 20 episodes. So we are 25% of the way from being in the elite as far as podcasts go. Yeah, boy.
Let's get
Bro,
there.
episode 4 was a mad one, you know?
Yeah, it was emotional.
Very. I didn't know you and Rowan had that deep of a relationship. That was kind of mad.
I've known him from when we were kids, man, so it's good remembering old times. But yeah, it's good. Inspiring, I found it. I found it inspiring.
I do as well. Now, again, from my point of view, it was something I wanted to do for a long time. So yeah, it was really, really good. Good feedback.
Yeah, great feedback.
And
great feedback, people.
And what's
Original
great,
Culture Festival, big up yourself.
And what's great is we're able to follow it up pretty quickly because that episode dropped. Well, by the time, they'll know what we mean. Trust me. So listen, I think today is the day we just get into it.
No, we've got some news first. Let's do some news because we missed it last one. Just quickly, briefly.
You want to go on and bring it out? Go on. Go on.
Alex Ferguson has been told to step down as being one of the ambassadors. I mean, how can they do that?
So this is news how? I don't care about your club. I don't care.
No, this is news.
I don't
This
care.
is news. Yeah, and I'm like, how can you tell a man, a legend like that, to step down? Like, because they're trying to save some money. So what they're trying to say, there's 2 mil that they can save every year. Fucking, the fans should be gathering 2 mil to give him every year. So yeah, that's news there.
And meanwhile, fucking Lebanon and Gaza are flattened, and we want to talk about that shit.
Deep,
do you know what I mean,
man.
bruv?
Yeah, and meanwhile, Philly got arrested in Australia, but then
we're not going there.
yeah, we can go
are
everywhere.
not going there.
And fiddly diddly's about
We're
with
not
the
going
oil.
there. I tell you what,
we can go everywhere.
I tell you what we can do.
So
Actually,
where do you want to go?
No, I tell you what we can do. You can go live on TikTok, can't you?
Not now. I'm not.
No, not now. I don't mean now. I mean in general. You can go live on TikTok, can't you?
Yeah, and so can you.
So why don't we start doing that?
Okay.
Take Spanner in the Works.
What, showing everyone that we argue everywhere we go.
Beautiful, mate. Like every happy couple in the world. Just quickly on the news one. How's your team coming together for Drop Zone?
I haven't spoken to them yet.
All right, cool.
And are we still doing teams?
Mine have signed their contracts, mate. They're officially Team TST.
Okay. How many DJs do I need altogether?
3 in total, unless you want to DJ.
No problem.
Is it going to be a bit biased, you hosting the battle against me, or are you going to be impartial?
No, you can host your own.
Okay.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
Oh, it means I get my own host.
No, you host your own.
No, I'm DJing. I can't do both. That's not fair. So if you're allowed 3 DJs and you as a host, but I've got a host and DJ, is that what we're saying?
You didn't. This is you told me to host.
Well, okay. Well, then I'll get my own host then as well.
No, but why don't you are a host?
But I'm also DJing.
Yeah, you could DJ and host. Come on, you can multitask.
All right, cool. Yeah, why not?
Done.
No, but I'm still going to need a host for my set. But anyway, I'll talk to Shawnee H. That's you lot done then. Anyway, it's coming. We're not announcing a date yet, but the Spanner in the Works podcast rap party, which is going to be TST versus Drop Zone, is definitely happening.
Cool.
Follow, like, subscribe, by the way. Subscribers are looking nice, bruv. We ain't quite cracked 2,000 yet, but we are getting there. And because these two are coming out close together, I'll be really interested to see what numbers look like. But I'm really pleased with how things are going and the feedback we're getting. It's great.
I don't know what it is. It's that everyone says it, innit? Follow, like, subscribe.
I'll do it. I'm a content creator now. So follow, like, subscribe, mash the notification bell.
And check him out on TikTok, guys. He's a new TikToker.
TizTok. Big shout to Bear Talent Agency on TikTok. I'm officially signed to them now, man. I've got a DJ agency now as well.
Yeah?
Yep.
Oh, he's doing bits.
Yeah. Managing director of a brand, content creator, podcaster, failed rapper.
Okay.
If I'm not a failed rapper, my bars are as good as most of you. And I reckon, apart from, I've moved more units than most of you, so I'm not even a failed rapper. I'm fucking top 5 in this town, mate.
And TV. And you was on TV.
Don't start.
No, you mentioned
Don't
it.
start.
You mentioned it on
TikTok. I mentioned it. Don't start. We're
Yeah.
not bringing that to here. I was on TV. All right, look. You get how it goes. I've been waiting for this. Now, before we do the who it is and we list some of their many accolades and achievements, we started this podcast. It was never going to be about Bedford, but it's difficult for it not to be. It's filmed in Bedford. We're from Bedford. We had that conversation prior to the podcast online when we did that live on Instagram. And what's been a running theme through this entire thing has been my opinion on the musical legacy of Bedford, what it should look like, and where rap fits into it. Is that a fair assumption?
That's fair.
Okay. So I think actually it's culturally important at this point of the podcast that we have this guest on today. I also know he's quite highly sought after. He told me, and I think he'll touch on this, but someone really big in UK hip hop who does a podcast wanted him, and I'm
not surprised the amount of platforms this guy's been on.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Only rappers would dream to be on.
Okay, so he was. We'll list these off, right? And he can when we announce him, he can tell us how much of these are actually true.
Just say yep or no.
So I'll go first. Battle champion, including Don't Flop and Jump Off.
National battle champion.
National battle champion with Jump Off and Don't Flop.
Worked with industry stalwarts such as
stalwarts.
Stalwarts.
Stop. Let me do that bit again.
Why are you using stupid
you
words
that word
like
means,
that?
Is that stupid words? Was that stalwarts? What's stupid about that word?
Fuck knows. What does it mean?
It describes a group of people.
Let me do it my way.
A group of people
stalwarts.
Take it out. Then. I gave it to you 2 weeks ago. You could have fucking
I
edited
never
it.
knew stalwarts.
Because you didn't fucking read it. That's why. Right. All right, so let's introduce him then. National battle champion, including Don't Flop and Jump Off.
Yep. Works with the industry.
You can't do no, you do the first line. Right. I'll do the second line, you twat.
Right.
Right, stop.
Yo, people. No, I was doing fucking the start again.
So let's introduce him. Come on. Who is it?
Right, intro. The one and only national battle champion, including Don't Flop and the Jump Off.
He's worked with huge names, legends, stalwarts of the music industry, including Tim Westwood, Charlie Sloth, Chester P, our friend Genesis Elijah, Flip Tricks. I mean, we could list that for forever.
He also formed a duo with the UK rap legend, Cy Philly. Big up you, my brother.
Yeah, man. And I heard also, and he can confirm this to us, but I think I'm right, he toured 9 countries.
Probably more knowing him. He's also dropped what is recognised a classic album in the UK hip-hop scene.
Yeah.
A hometown legend. And
after a long hiatus, a long time away, he's back. He's been pumping out music. He's been doing shows. He's been putting on a whole load of new talent. He's Bedford's only rap goat, the only person from this town who can say they ever stepped outside and did anything in the rap space. The one and only
Dotzilla.
What's going on?
What's going on, my brother?
What's going on?
All good. I'm just wondering how loud that's going to be on the bloody thing.
I lowered it on here, so it shouldn't be as loud.
Absolute pleasure to have you here, my bro.
I'm good, man. Yeah, I'm good. I got a burst eardrum. I'm feeling like shit, but yeah,
painful.
We keep moving. The
man's turned up here. You know what? That's a high level of respect. The man's like got a burst eardrum. Like could be 101 other places right now, and he's come and joined us here. So listen, thank you for coming on. And I got to say, bro, for me, like I said, it's an absolute pleasure. So my memory of you goes back to, we were talking about this before we come in here, 2011. Right? I think I remember me and him were doing radio. Me and you're doing Interbeats at the time, innit? And we were about a year. No, we weren't a year in. We were a little while in. We'd been doing it a fair chunk of time, me and you, and we were starting to edge into like local artists kind of thing. And I remember coming to the studio, and I remember you go, who's that? It's like, fucking, have you not heard this guy rap? Fucking, he's sick, man. He's fucking sick. So that's as far back as I remember you. But before we get into the music bit,
what year was that?
In 2011, I think. And I'm quite good with my timelines. But let's just step back from that a little bit. So, because a lot of people that watch this may not have a clue who you are, might have heard of you. You know, not been around for a little while, and you know how trends change and music changes, and someone who's hot in one period of time is from a bygone era in another. So, but take us back before that. Where does rap start for you, and like where are you from, and all that?
For me, so I'm from Bedford. I've always been from Bedford, but for me, rap's just always been a big part of my life. I was a metal kid when I was like really little.
Well, like Korn and that sort of.
Kind of, yeah. But metal. I think it was like, it was the new metal thing that got me into rap. You know, like, I tell you what it was.
There's a lot of crossover around them.
Yeah. So, you know, obviously, Limp Bizkit did the track with Method Man on a DJ Premier beat. That was probably like the main one. And that was the same time that M came out. And then that's when things kind of started shifting for me. And then, I've always been obsessed with music. And then, just got obsessed with rap, basically.
Rap's like a wide scope, though. So, and obviously, we all like, who was your first rappers you were listening to?
Tupac, Snoop.
Literally Tupac and Snoop. So mine was like...
No, Snoop was my first.
Snoop was like the first big, but before that I was like Eric B and Rakim, and I used to love Dana Dane. Go and look up. You know Dana Dane?
Yeah.
Go and look up Dana Dane if you don't know. I used to rap Dana Dane records in Jubilee Playground with Daniel and David. Yeah. So everybody has their first kind of rapper like that was. So who was yours?
I'd have to say M.
It was M.
I'd have to say M. Yeah, because this was like Slim Shady LP had been out for like a little while. I was probably like 10 or something, and then the Marshall Mathers LP dropped, and my dad always had it on cassette.
Say that again. When Slim Shady LP dropped, you were 10.
About that, yeah.
That's mad,
yeah.
bro. I was 18
or 9.
That's mad.
9, I might have been, yeah.
And again, the music hits differently at 9 than it does because I'm 18. And we hear music today, don't hit anywhere near. When you're 9, that must hit like crazy.
I listen to those albums now and they have different meanings. You know what I mean? Because when you're a kid and you listen to them, you're just hearing like, I don't know, like the funny side of it, maybe not getting a lot of it. And then obviously I listen back to them now. And you get all of it, do you know what I mean? If there's references to, I don't know, like addiction or drugs, shit that you wouldn't have clocked when you're a night, like things you don't know what they mean, innit?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say it was probably M, and then obviously everyone that was around him, Exhibit.
A big Zibbit fan, because back then Zibbit is not Pimp Your Ride Zibbit. Zibbit is Alcoholics, Liquid Crew, Underground.
Yeah,
Zibbit,
this was when Dre produced Restless.
Paparazzi.
Yeah. So Paparazzi was a bit before I started.
That.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're Restless Exhibit.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
So just starting to edge into the mainstream Exhibit.
Yeah.
Again, there's that age gap difference there. I'm like, Liquid, fucking hell, man. God, that's I've often wondered that actually, and we'll get sort of into your own sort of rap style. So was everyone into rap like around your sort of young circle, or was it a mix?
No, not really. I mean, yeah, I suppose mixed really. I mean, you had like a lot of us were into like metal and rap. But I was into everything. I still am. I was into a lot of punk, a lot of, like metal, even stuff like Slipknot and stuff when I was a kid. I feel like when you're a kid, you kind of tend to like gravitate towards the extremes of things, innit? So for like music, it was like, right, I'm going to listen to the heaviest metal, or I'm going to listen to like the angriest rap music. And yeah, I don't know. I always loved that. I always loved, Did you
play any instruments?
Nah, not really. I tried to play guitar with shit.
A lot of people that do like rock.
Yeah, I tried a few things, but I was pretty shit at all of them, to be fair.
Man, just so dry with it. I was just pretty shit, to be fair.
Well, fucking hell, you're not pretty shit at rapping, is he, man?
Yeah. That's definitely not. So that's like good segue, Sonny. Great segue. So obviously I mentioned it earlier. We're on radio.
Yeah.
And up to that point, let's be honest. If we and not at the time, because you see things through different eyes later on, but let's be honest. At that time in Bedford, or when we were doing a radio, or whatever, it's safe to say that nobody hit on a local level like that. I remember it was like, of course, we're at the forefront of it. We are. And I'm speaking just from a Bedford point of view. Me and you are kind of driving that underground rap culture in Bedford for as little or as big as it exists. But when he hit in a pretty big way. What's your early? Do you remember that times? You were part of kind of. I first met him. I want to say at Passions, but it was at the studio. It was at the radio, and I remember that yellow cover.
Ask him.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm asking you because you were kind of around there. What's your memory of that sort of time?
How did we meet?
Yeah,
it probably was at Interbeats. Yeah, because I recorded this Audible Artistry. This was the project.
There it is, the yellow cover.
Yeah. And I bought a tower burner where you could put a disc in the top and burn 8 CDs.
No, because I swear I met you before Interbeats.
I used to go to Interbeats when it was Pirate. So we used to go and do sets, grime sets.
Upstairs.
When
right,
Dev and Cyrus were doing like late night grime sets. This was back when you could still smoke weed in the building, and like it was just raggo.
Red
like,
Stripe.
Yeah, just raggo. Like there'd be 10 man there smoking, just doing a grime set upstairs. And then obviously,
big up Hester. I remember them days.
See, that's when I was at college with Bulk and a bunch of the Putnell guys.
Ah, that's interesting. We'll get into it. And that's the thing. People don't understand how, like, if you sat there and done one of them, you know, those, whatever they call them kind of spider graph things.
Yeah.
Like, and we're going to touch it later, but I'm a big both fan, involved, and a critic of what we have and haven't had here.
Yeah. But
it's easy to forget that everybody kind of comes, I guess everybody really does come out of that kind of, mainly, what was it called back then? Big Shot Records kind of, but yeah, really doing rap, it sort of come from there.
Big Shot Records.
A few Putnam man were doing it. We don't get the credit we deserve, what we were doing over London Road, so I don't give a fuck, mate, yeah? You dickheads, mate. Fucking Platinum Status were the first ones. Putnam man were doing it first. No one's sending you pictures of Welcome to Junction 13 on fucking Instagram, mate. Anyway,
but everyone in their own ends.
I digress. I'm taking it.
Everyone in their own ends were doing their things. Platinum Status were doing.
Yeah,
bits.
they were. I was
Kempston.
paying. Yeah. Who's Kempston? Who's repping Kempston?
Platinum
Macabre.
Status.
They were from Kempston.
Yeah, Platinum Status
But why do I always feel they were
Macabre units.
Yeah, but I always
Next
feel
Generation,
if
I remember
why
rightly.
Why do I not associate them with Kempston then? What I think
Well,
of them,
Platinum Status Putno.
I think of them as Putno.
I can't remember. I remember the name
For me, it
Platinum
was
Status.
always NLS was Putno, Macabre.
Yeah, NLS was Putno.
Was Kempston.
Platinum Status was Kempston, bruv.
Okay, no. Listen, you know better. You fucking.
I might have been a bit young for that. I don't know.
My first memory of shouting.
I might have been a bit old for that.
Shouting this man's praises from the rooftops was, I can't remember how I met him. It must have been into Beats, but
It was definitely around that time.
I heard this guy spit, and I was like, "Bruv, have you ever been to a studio before?" And like, I knew I had something good in Passion Hi-Fi, aka Kane, who I haven't seen for years. Start answering your phone, please, mate.
That's the second
I think I
episode.
said that
we
in
said
episode
that
1
yeah.
as well.
Yeah. Episode 2,
He answers the phone to me.
You know what you should
There you
do?
go.
We should ring him on the podcast. No, don't.
There
I'm
you
joking,
go.
I'm joking.
Yeah, there you go. That says it all. I don't even want to do this podcast anymore. Go on, I'll let you lot take over.
You've killed it. You've killed
There
his
you
spirit.
go.
To be fair, I was
No,
gonna-
but that's what happens when other people get involved. You know what I mean? So, yeah, leave that there. Spanner in the works.
back to the work. Well, I was actually going to come on and ask that. So yeah, that's kind of who I early on kind of associate you with. Because again, I've got this timeline of you, and we're obviously going to go through it in the context of this. But then that's when I kind of remember you, and then I remember you doing. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Jump Off comes to Bedford.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let me in that night. Wouldn't let me in. He said, "Got ID?" I said, "Bruv, do I look like I fucking got ID? I need ID. You're not coming in." I said, "Bruv, my people of them are in there. Not one coming in." And this will give you, and this will lead into our disagreement in a minute. But this will give you an insight to what a fat wanker I was back then. I had a silver A5 convertible, double parked out the front, like I was something special. And that's my fucking car over there. And some guy next to him who must have known me went, "No, it's not. It's your fucking boss's car." So that was that night. But anyway, that night was when you first battled in.
Yeah, so obviously I'd been working with Ravi, Limelight TV.
Mm-hmm.
Back to where we are right now.
Full circle, mate.
Full circle.
Big up Ravi all day. So Ravi had a handheld camera, like I think it was a little Sony thing, where you flip the screen out and that. He just started doing some little videos, and then I wanted to do freestyle videos. So if you go on the Limelight YouTube channel, like a lot of the very first videos are just me freestyling.
Yeah, they are. No,
like,
they are.
just
In fact,
me,
one of
like-
Limelight TV's highest views is your video.
Yeah, probably.
And one
yeah.
of your highest views across all of YouTube is your Limelight video.
Yeah,
and
maybe,
that was that freestyling?
We used to do different ones. So we used to do like bar videos where I'd write the verses and then we'd record them. And then it was a little bit later down the line when I was working with Passion, we actually started doing like, I think they were called like off the cuff sessions or something like that.
They were,
Yeah.
Off the cuff.
So Ravi entered me into the Jump Off at, I think it was called Empire. Or
It was
something.
Empire at the
Yeah,
time,
So
it was, yeah.
Ravi entered me into it and I didn't really want to
Hang
do
on a
it.
minute. When did Ravi enter you into it?
Oh,
I took you.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
I took you
Controversy.
to Empire, and me and you were supposed to go on there. And when I went on the stage to sign our names, he said, "I've only got one spot left." So I put your name down.
Oh, seeing. No, listen, I have a lot. There's a lot of blanks in my
No,
memory.
it's cool.
But
That's what it's about. It's about.
That's
I
what
know.
happened.
I know. I know.
Ravi was there filming.
I know that Ravi was encouraging it and saying you should do it.
Ravi was all as soon as Ravi knew you was like rolling with Kane and Passion and the Evil Twin family. Big up the whole Evil Twin family. He was always a part of your journey. And basically he was like, Ravi was your first thing and I was like the second one. Yo, this guy's sick, let's push him. But yeah, I remember this to this very day. We all went in there and I was gassed because I was like, I could do this because some of them was like funny, man. And I was like, well, we could smash this. And I went on stage and I said to the guy, my name was Switch then.
Switch,
my rap name was Switch.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, we've got a rapper called Dots. And he said, I've only got one space left, mate. Ravi, if it's different, tell me. But this is what I remember.
Yeah. To be fair, if that was complete bullshit, you chose the wrong kind of environment to bullshit. Because there's someone who could literally next to you could verify it.
Tell me if I'm lying.
To be fair, I didn't. Yeah, I asked that question
lying,
without. I didn't know when you said
my
that,
memory's bad as well, very bad.
Yeah.
But moments like that, I remember. And I even remember going to your first Don't Flop in London, bruv.
No, that was Jump Off.
No, you were coming Jump Off.
Yeah. I even remember that.
So you're starting to make noise. At that point, then, are you there in that headspace going, "Yeah, I'm the baddest rapper around here. No one can fuck with me."
No, I never had that attitude. Like, I know, like most rappers are like, "Oh yeah." My thing was never like, "I'm the best rapper in Bedford." My thing was just, I'm just making music, and I feel like I've still got the same mindset. Like. There might have been times over the years where I might have got a little bit big-headed if I'd done certain things, but I feel like I've never really been that arrogant guy who's like bragged too much. And like, for me, it was just like, I was just happy to be doing shit I wanted to be doing, like stuff I'd grown up watching. For me, it was just cool to be a part of it. Like,
do you know what? My thing was how young you were and how
you forget how
young he was. I think you were like 8 years maybe younger than us.
I'm 32.
So how old are you in 2011?
Yeah, there you go.
19.
I was yeah.
So that's what shocked me about how young he was and how articulate he was in his raps and the way he rapped, the way he used his just his style, everything, just the whole thing. And I was like, rah, I haven't heard nobody I used to say to everybody, I've got the British Eminem. We've got the British, and like, I don't know if you remember this bit.
I remember you used to say that. Yeah.
I used to try and be his manager, yeah, and say, I will manage you. I've done this with John Pecker. I've done this with about 5-6 people. When you turn to manager, you have to supply everything, by the way, yeah? So whatever they need, you have to give it to them. So in my eyes...
You can't be cheap, basically.
In my eyes, I was manager. Whatever man needed on the day, we're going, picking you up, going studio, food, drink, smoke, drink, whatever you needed, we was there. And then one day, Doctor goes to me, "Oh, I don't think you could be manager no more." Like, not manager no more. He goes, I go, "Yeah, about managing." And Doctor goes to me, "I think I've got somebody else who's going to manage me." Do you remember they sent you your first GARMs? Your first ever GARMs. And you were like, "I've got a new sponsorship. They've sent me GARMs."
That.
Do you remember that?
I remember people sending me clothes, but I don't know who the first. I don't know who remember the first one was.
I could see the name of it on the. Oh, I can see.
Yeah, and you were like, "Oh, yes, switch. I've got somebody else now. I've got these other guys managing me. They're going to send me, and they sent you bare GARMs."
Was it the DNA?
Yes. No, was it before? It was the one before DNA. It might have been DNA, but it might have been the one before DNA. But I think what you hit a point there, right? And I think that what is quite apparent again with hindsight, yeah, it really does kind of underpin a lot of what I've said. Very early on, through that little short part of the journey you've described there, you're outside of Bedford already, aren't you? You're like, you're gone. You know, Jump Off because they've come to us, and it's like, am I right? They, off the back of that, they invited you there. Is that right?
Yeah. So I won that one, and then they were like, they said they had an event. I think that was on like a Friday or a Saturday night, innit? Yeah. And then they were like, "Yeah, we have an event on Monday."
And we all bolted
and
down
they were like, "Yeah, come down." And I had to battle 3 times because how it worked is they had a champ, and then there'd be 2 other battles before. So there'd be 2 people would battle. Whoever won that would then battle the winner of the other one or something like that. Yeah. So I battled like 2 or 3 times, and then I battled I think it might have been Sean O'Mac, who was the champ at the time, and then I beat him. And then because I beat him, then I had to keep going back.
That's right.
And was the
final one where you was let me see what got his
Tenchu. So this was 2012, yeah. So I battled I think I battled 5 times, and then it was the finals.
That's the one I came to that one. That was a Scala, isn't it?
Yeah, they were all at Scala. Yeah, that's the one I lost. That's the only one I ever lost at Jump Off was against Tenchu. And to be fair, he deserved to win it because
good, But I remember that night. Well, we were right up in the rafters. It was me, Kane. I can't remember were you there?
There was loads of people.
I don't think there was a lot of people. Because I remember I was working Stevenage. I remember coming on the train and bucking someone at King's Cross.
Yeah.
And we were right up in the raft because Scala goes up high, innit?
Yeah,
like you can be right in the corner. And I remember there was a point in that night where I thought you had him, and again, my memory is quite good, but also hazy. But the way I remember it was, I'm like, yeah, he's gonna, and then I think he comes strong towards the end or something.
There was a flip. He had a flip about. I'd said something about Ali G, and he had a flip, and it just.
That's right.
It went fucking.
And up to that point, that's it.
Yeah, and then it went mental. But to be fair, he deserved to win because I was so new to it all. I'd only been doing it for such a short time, and he was a seasoned. Yeah. He was a seasoned, and he's one of the best freestylers in the country, if not in the world. Like, and I still think he is.
Yeah.
And he
still doing his bits as well.
Yeah, he's still doing bits. Yeah. On the night, obviously, I was like, I should have won that. But watching it back, he fucking smoked me, man. Do you know what I mean? But
Can you still find all the Don't Flop rap battles?
All the jump
They're all
off.
on YouTube.
Yeah,
Check them out.
all the jump
YouTube,
off. Yeah,
all the rap battles.
We'll definitely link them in the
But
description.
going back, I think I fast forwarded too quickly. So we got to rock, blah blah blah. When did you get to hip hop? When did you write your first bars? How did it work out that you became such a good MC and lyricist?
I was probably like 12 when I first started writing, and I remember I had do you remember them PS2 SingStar mics?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
You could plug them into your computer, and I literally used to use sound recorder. Do you remember the proper ghetto sound recorder? It was literally just a sound recorder. It wasn't a program.
Actually, I do.
And I just used to like play stuff in the background and then rap into the mic or whatever. And then, me and my mate used to make tracks together, and then we made like some super shit like 20-track album or mixtape, whatever it was. I haven't. We never made a CD of it. I know the name of it. I'm not gonna say it just in case, because I know we've all got one, man. We've all got that verse that we wrote at like 40 to 50. We remember it and we would never say it. I know someone will dig it out if I say the name. There'll be a MySpace page or something. And then college. So that's when I met Bulk. Big up Bulk. And then through Bulk I met the rest of Blueprint. And then so Peters, Chucky.
Were they already Blueprint?
I was gonna ask that.
Nah, so at the time everyone was just doing solo stuff, and then we all kind of decided, I can't remember whose idea it was. It wasn't my idea, but it was just we were like, let's just do a group thing. And then we done like 3 or 4 projects or something like that. I think I was on I think I was on like 2 or 3 of them. And then this was when everything was popping off with Jump Off. And then I met Passion and you.
That was way before Jump Off.
So basically, right, let's break it down. So this came first, So I made this mixtape with Knee High, Rich West at Level Recordings.
That's where we met.
Yeah, underneath.
Oh my God.
Where we met. Yeah,
that's where we met.
Underneath.
Knee High, big up Rich West.
Yeah, underneath Interbeats.
Yes,
so that's
at
the one.
Studio.
Yeah, that one come first. Then when I was doing Jump Off, this one come out.
That's with Passion.
This one come out 2012. Yeah. So I met Passion and started working with him straight away.
So that's the one where I've then come on board as a manager, as the label manager.
Yeah. So basically, by the time the Jump Off finals had happened, this project come out. Because I remember giving a copy to Charlie Sloth and being fuming at the end of the night because I see it on the floor. And I was just like, brother, you asked me for the CD and then you threw it on the fucking floor. But
disrespect, bro.
That's a really good. Do you know what? I actually really like that.
Do you know what? There's 2
Do you
tracks.
remember making that still?
Do I remember making it? Kind of, yeah. I mean,
isn't there a series of them as well? You've got one of them. And
Trauma's got one as well. Yeah, Trauma's got one. Trauma's one is sick. Trauma's one's way better than mine. But this one had No Boasting on it.
That was the track,
and that was the track that like.
Was that your breakout song?
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah. That was the one first like proper music video which Ravi done as well.
Yeah, man, I remember.
I think it's on.
And when you go back to that time, it felt at the time, and I'm not capping this up in a way like with rose tinted lenses. I genuinely felt at that time it really did feel like we were gonna have a star. It really felt at the time, doing big, especially within the culture was different then. Social media weren't what it was, and there was still the streets mattered them times. People still spoke about shit and handed out CDs, and I'm getting goosebumps talk about it. I genuinely felt 2012 time, that sort of period, Bedford was on the cusp. I don't mean just having a rapper break out of Bedford. I felt like we were on the cusp of somebody really fucking, conversation with Charlie Sloth and
bruv.
There was a lot of other stuff going on as well with the Walls and Tom Grennan and the Scruff.
Yeah,
and like there was.
It was a really
and Zedo as well. Zedo was smashing it as well. So
and Evil Twin. What Kane was trying to do. The Me and You on the radio.
And the Blueprint guys carried on because I ended up leaving. I think it was one of them ones where I basically just didn't really have the time to do it anymore. And then I think some people in the group probably saw it as like me being big-headed and he's rare, but it wasn't that. It was just I genuinely just wanted to focus on my own music, and I was working as well, so it was like I hardly had that much time.
You were still grafting all around that time. You were still
I was still working full time as well.
In building BMW
work, so.
BMW days. I used to cherish that car,
and then
full of McDonald's and rappers and whatever.
It was a good car though, man. It was a good car.
Got us to the studio,
but then and then I met Philly. I met Philly at the Jump Off as well.
that was good. You must have read this because that was great. That was great. That was great segue. Actually, before we do segue, there's something I want to do, and we spoke about this off air, and I think it's important, and we haven't really spoke about it in the context of this.
Go on.
I was around in them days, and I was definitely I was a big vocal advocate of you at the time.
Yeah.
I think it's something, and this is something I've never admitted. I'm probably only really admitted it to myself at the time. But I remember being quite jealous of the success that was coming with you. I felt good to be part of it, but I felt for me there was a little bit of jealousy, and I think that because I was older, I think I tried to like boy you a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think we had a pretty fucking, and it all stemmed online. Fucking everything comes full circle. I'm back online again, but I'm behaving myself now. I'm back online again.
I don't know about this.
No, me and him, we had I mean,
you probably do.
Do you want to? Shall I tell it how I kind of? Or how, no,
I would have
tell me how
if I knew
from your
that.
point of view.
I'm not gonna lie.
And speak freely, bruv, because we've had this
I
off air.
can't really remember exactly what happened. All I know is that
You was a wanker.
he was posting stuff on Facebook that was unnecessary, basically, I felt.
Tis special.
I wasn't much of a person to like do the same thing back. So I was just getting annoyed, basically. And then from what I remember, there was one thing you posted. I was down in Bournemouth.
I don't think I was talking about you, though, was I?
I don't know if it was like indirect or like, but I think the thing that made me flip was there. I think it was a direct thing.
Yeah, no, you're right. There was indirect, and then I.
There was a direct thing, and my missus at the time was at uni in Bournemouth, and I was in Bournemouth, and I saw this status, and something just snapped in me, and I fucking left Bournemouth. I drove straight back to Bedford. I rang my brethren. And then we pulled up to your yard.
Right, so let me. So now I'm going to tell you that.
Yeah, now I remember something
right,
like
so
that.
let me just go back a bit. But what had been happening with me and him is and that's why I said the jealousy thing, because there was something bubbling under the surface. And you know what? It's taken me a long time to actually realise that. I think in this moment now, hearing what your career was doing, I think when I look back, that's what it was. It wasn't conscious. It was probably unconscious. But there was a level of jealousy from me that like, I wanted to be a rapper. Why don't people fucking like me like this? But whilst equally, this sums me up in fucking great. Whilst equally, genuinely admiring the level of skill that you've had to kind of do that. Right? So it's this real weird juxtaposition between the two. So we'd had this thing bubbling. I remember we'd had a text war when that's what I said to you when I said to you about fucking just because you're dropping bars and got a few CDs, you're getting gassed. And he replied, the only person getting gassed in this situation is you. And he was absolutely right. But a 32-year-old ego Warren ain't trying to hear that shit. Yeah, I did use Warren because that was Warren. This is Tiz. So that kind of bubbled. And so he's told that bit. Obviously, I don't know. First time I found out you were down in Bournemouth was right now.
Yeah.
So I'm at home one Sunday, and the worst thing to do is me being bored and like early 2010 social media. Fucking hell. What was I thinking? And he's right. I'd started on a few. I think radio had started to creep into that realms of where I was really, and looking back, I was doing it to create some interest. And we're going to come to Bulk and Miniman a bit later. And but the point I'm making with this is, if you put out great music, 10 people will go, that's wicked. If you put out an average track, but you're dissing someone, 1,000 people will fucking want to engage in it. And that was kind of what I was trying to do with the radio. But I think in a very misguided, center of attention, ego-driven, my word is God kind of way. So this is all kind of bubbling in the context of this. And then that Sunday, I remember sending shots to a few people. And then I think I sent some indirects. And then he's come back at me. And then that's it. It's just gone silent. This is about, if you're in Bournemouth, this all now starts to make sense. It's maybe mid-afternoon. I'm fucking cool, all right. And I just got into bed, right? I just got into bed.
It was quite late, wasn't it?
It was Sunday night. It was a Sunday night. It was about 10 o'clock on a Sunday night.
I can't believe what I'm hearing.
And the phone goes. My phone's buzzing. And I see. And I always put people by their full name in my phone. I won't say it on there, but I'd put you in and your name comes up. And I think, he wants beef with me at this time of night. But my ex-wife was, let's just say, difficult. And I'm thinking, this is not a high voice conversation happening. I remember sneaking downstairs and going, what? He's gone, I'm outside your house. And if I could have seen, I felt like the gulp go right. And so upstairs, I've got like volatile wife that's going to go off if she gets any sniff of this, right?
Yeah.
Inquisitive dog, knowing that I'm up to no good, right? The dog was a snitch as well. And I've got him outside, right, in a van. And I'm like, fuck, what do I do? And I remember you'd parked a bit further down the road. And I remember coming down the road. And I remember do you remember the conversation?
I remember you were in your dressing gown.
See, it all fits together. And I'll be honest with you. And again, a lot of this has been learnt with hindsight. But I think you may not remember the exact words of the conversation, and neither do I, but I think it's probably safe to say I fell to pieces. Like my ass fell out the back of my dressing gown. I'll never forget.
Pulled up, bruv.
Humbled in a
Doc
way.
was on it from day. That's what happens when you're with the evil twin familia.
I was part of the evil twin familia, bruv.
You're coming for your own people. That's
that's when my timeline
gets.
gets skewed. So I think that happens first. I think then there's a bit of a separation, and then we've kind of come, and there's been that kind of.
Right. I think
I apologised. I remember on the night apologising because
and then I felt like there was like a mutual respect thing from that point onwards where it just was squashed.
And again, I always said it because I was an advocate of you, but I think looking
that's
back,
why I was confused because I was always like,
he likes me.
I was like, this is my brethren. Like, why are we beefing? And then I think that's probably why it like upset me so much. And then I just snapped and was like, I'm just gonna go to his yard. And
but I don't think we've ever. Because we reconnected a few years back, like online. But I don't think we've ever really been able to be in a space to have this conversation.
No,
we never
in the
really lead up to doing
it.
this. Like doing this is important to me from a point of view. As you mentioned the friendship thing. We're very much about and I don't want to get morbid here, but in 50 years' time, none of us are here.
Yeah.
But this will still exist.
Yeah,
that's legacy, right? So that why it was really important for me. But when I was kind of forming this in my head, believe it or not, most good deeds are still done out of selfishness. So part of that was me kind of cleansing myself, but also being self-aware enough and grown up enough to kind of recognize it now for what it is, and then maybe give it some context. And I actually, when I thought about it at depth, I thought, what the fuck is at the heart of that? And there's loads of other things going on in the background, neurodiversity, fucking terrible fucking all that's going on in the background. But I think directly between me and you, where that comes from is a massive like slice of green-eyed monster, whilst also at the very same time going, fucking this guy's incredible. I wish I could be fucking that good. But I think this is my opportunity to say it. At this point, I ain't seen you properly in over a decade. I just like to apologise for my behaviour back them times, bro.
Big up, bro. Big up, bro.
So
all is forgiven.
Was this after he was on Tim Westwood? Because we all would love to get a freestyle on Westwood.
This is that stage where I said you're just starting to kind of edge out. And again, a lot of that's built in there as well. Now, how the fuck's he getting to go there? And I'm fucking sitting here with this bitch I don't even love and working a job I hate, and I'm fat. But I can bar, man. I swear I can bar, man. Will someone I mean, you don't have freestyle take around. I'd be there and I'd be like waiting for my turn, and I'd drop my sickest bars. He'd go, fucking hell, I heard them before. That's what I remember. Kane did that. Oh, I knew it was going to be these bars. Ravi was there.
Kane
you
used
was
to kill
there.
us.
Kane was there. This was my chance. These men had never let me freestyle around his table.
He used to get a kick out of us just battling and ripping each other to shreds and just make videos of us laughing.
That did happen a lot.
By the way, I didn't know you met Philly. That's the segue. I didn't know you met Philly at Jump Off. I actually thought that you and Philly first linked at that thing at Badlands. Remember when Jen headlined and we put that night on with?
Nah, I invited him to that.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So when do you form a group at that point? Then, pretty much. So
I can't remember when, like, what event it was, but it was 2012, I think, because I did 2012 season of Jump Off, and then because I was the runner-up, I did the whole 2013, which is the one I won in the final. So I think it was the 2012 one, like midway through. So I'm on my way back to King's Cross after the event, because obviously they're in Scala, and Philly was outside with his brethren Scissor, and they were just bunning a zoot. And obviously I recognised him and was like, fucking hell, man. Like,
you were a fan, yeah?
Yeah, I was a fan. But this was the maddest thing, was like, I didn't even clock who it was at first, but he come up to me because obviously they'd been there to watch the battles, and he started chatting to me. And then obviously the second he said his name, because for me, Phil Life Cypher was like, I remembered them as big dreadheads and stuff. And obviously by this point he'd cut his hair, and I just didn't recognise him, innit? But as soon as he said his name, I was like instantly fucking gassed. Because, bruv, at school, like, I've still got my iPod from school, and it's just like, everything on it is just underground hip hop, and all the Phil Life Cypher stuff is on there. And I used to listen to them religiously, so I was just so gassed. And then we spent the train ride back just chatting, and he was like, yeah, we should make a track. And We Stay was the first track we made, and we actually recorded We Stay with Rich West. So this was before Passion.
Okay.
Wow.
And then it's a bit hazy how things worked, but then me and Passion started working properly. I think that would have been.
I like this little CD thing you're doing here, man.
It's a bit.
Have you got them in order?
Yeah, they're in order.
Just hold them up to the camera 1 second.
This is
and show that this is how
the way he's doing that.
You know, man's an artist. He's come with every fucking CD.
But
in order as well.
They're in order because for me, it's like my memory's a bit hazy. 'Cause I've done so much shit and so much shit. you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah. So
sorry. 1 second. It deserves the first one of the day. If you know, you know. If you don't, mind your business.
So yeah, but then we weren't really connecting working with Rich, and that's when we went over to Passions, and then the rest is history. So yeah,
and that's when the album starts to take shape.
Yeah, so the album started, originally it was going to be an EP, and then we were like, fuck it, let's just make it into an album. And I was working on the Country Bumpkin CD, so we'll take the next one. So I was working on this one at the same time.
I remember that.
You remember this one was like...
That's one of the few that stayed around on streaming services.
Yeah.
Show the camera, brother.
Yeah. So this wasn't the...
We'll try and get a little.
That's really good. That is. That's a really good. But and again, we're navigating this. But I think if you understand you as a fan, and a lot of your fans will.
Yeah.
That's where you're starting to see.
This is where people.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. This is like the starting point for like most of the diehard fans outside of Bedford. This project.
But I also think you as an artist and what you're talking about, and even what you're depicting on the cover. That's where, in my mind, knowing. That's where you start, not you, but you just start
developed a bit more. 100%.
And I said, if you know, you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely, man. So I mean, Passion produced quite a few of the tracks on this, and then obviously from working with Philly, I met Richie Spitz, and then Richie Spitz produced some of the tracks on this. So yeah, the whole time I was working on the Philly and Dots album, I was working on this, and then this one came out, and like you said, this had Puke on it, and Puke is like one of my
your big
songs.
Yeah.
I still play Puke at, like, if I do a set, I'll still put Puke at the end just because people fucking love it. And then at the same time, I was working with Flo.
Is that Flot? Don't tell me that.
Yeah,
that's Flot.
Wait.
He's getting another one.
This is bringing back. It's like nostalgia for me.
Yeah.
So just pausing for a second.
Memories, bruv.
And again, it's all about the narrative. I've been talking for now, 5 episodes, but it's really easy to forget because UK hip hop it's not dead, but it very much only really exists now in a real time capsule of die. I'm going to say something now, and yes, listen, High Focus boys kind of carried it on, but even you could say that they exist as High Focus, and there's not that wider thing that underpins it, right?
Yeah.
UK hip hop has effectively been swallowed up by the wider UK rap market, which we're very lucky to have. Not a lot of people recognise that that doesn't exist without a lot of the pioneers. But I think it's safe to say, listening to this, 2 things. People don't respect that you broke into a fucking hard scene to break into off the back of talent and, integrity. You weren't fucking around. And also, I'm going to say, I think you're one of the very last UK hip-hop, rapper. You're one of the last UK hip-hop rappers. There's not many came. I don't think you can tell me different because I'm not that entrenched in the scene. But I could still argue that past that, they just morphed into what we're seeing today. I think you are one of the very last UK rappers that existed in the guise that they did
from that original.
And with the exception, I know you've worked with these guys and some of them with the exception of High Focus, I think. But even then, look at them as a label. Ocean Wisdom is not really their kind of original type of. He transcended and went into. You see what I'm saying? Can you see what I'm I don't know if I'm articulating that in the best possible way.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of new guys that are kind of like me, sort of just doing their thing. But I feel like I was so lucky to be at the end of the old crop.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because I was able to work with Philly, it catapulted me up to fucking hell, man. I went from making tracks on beats I didn't own in Bedford to making a fucking album with Kalashnikov on it, Black Twang, Verb T on Leaf Dog beats,
Massive.
on Pete Cannon beats. Do you know what I mean? It was
I'm going to give
massive. People dream of that kind
and and I think again you've got to really put it into context of where it is and the time that it took. And I know people are gassing him up and well, that's not actually factually true, mate. There is no one else. I don't care what type of rap you make. There is nobody else who comes from an MK postcode who can say that they did that. There's someone close, and we're going to get to him later. Someone now, he's in my mind is where the landscape shifted.
Yeah.
If you were to then look at who is who's the closest to Dots then now, you probably know what I mean. Not in terms of what the style that comes out of their mouth, but certainly where they are. I feel that cusp. We've definitely got another one. But I definitely think there was no one before you.
Yeah.
And I don't think as yet there's been anyone since. And I think the time, you mentioned the timing of it as well. So no, go on. You carry on with that bit. Actually, go on.
But it's what I want to say this word right. It's what
differentiates.
It's what whatever they say. It's what
differentiates
him from others. Is his not just his unique style. So freestyle back in the day used to be freestyle, not written from the top of your head. That's why he done so well in the rap battle scene, I think, because it was flipping what they said to you. So being smart, being clever with your bars, but also it's the way he presented himself, bruv. Like when I first heard him and took him back to that house to meet Passion and the rest of the man, we were like 13 man deep at one point, if I remember rightly. Like he was like our Jay-Z of our Rockefeller in our eyes.
I see what you're saying, but yeah, good analogy. But no, I think there's someone else that I know what you're saying. Wait, he was the franchise player.
I know there's somebody else, and I want to big him up, and I'll tell you why I want to big him up. I always did call him the Godfather, because to be the best, you have to fuck with the best. To be a good pool player, like I like to play pool, the better pool players I play, the better I come. And when I see Dots looking up to our brother Trauma, I see Dots. Like when Dots met Trauma, just lyrically, his ability, everything, Dots was like, okay, I'm going to rub shoulders with this guy. Am I right?
Yeah, bro. I remember the first, I hadn't heard of Trauma, innit?
No.
And
the only thing that put me off about Trauma was, because he's very backwards, old school, first he used to use the American slang.
Yeah, he did early on in some of his. There's a few. He says that on one of his tracks.
Yeah, he used to use American slang.
Back when they used the fake American accent, that's the bar.
Back then. Yeah. But then, bruv, when I heard him and then Dots, like it was just a match made. Did you guys ever make an album together?
We never made an album, but it's funny that you say that actually, because we were talking like yesterday.
Oh wow.
Me and Trauma chat a lot. Like we're close.
Sick.
Yeah, we're close. And he sends me stuff all the time. And he sent me a few beats recently where I've said to him like, bruv, like let's just start the project now, innit? And like,
whoa, hang on a minute.
See?
What?
Might never happen, but
I can manage it if you need.
Listen, I want in. I'll help make that happen. I want no bars or nothing. I just want to fucking make that happen.
Yeah, make that happen.
Listen, since you last saw me, big entertainment guy now, bruv. Big brand and shit.
Do you know what it is? I feel like
we can put some shit into that. I want to get involved.
I don't know if this has always been like one of my attributes or a negative thing about me is I've had so many people, like you always used to say back in the day, let me manage you. And I always pushed back in it. And I've had, you've said it to me. I've had so many people say it. I feel like I'm such a lone wolf in life.
Yeah,
you are alone. Yeah, you are.
I'm a very introverted, reclusive person. I was nervous about doing this podcast because I don't like to talk about myself because I like to think I'm a humble person and I always like to keep moving forwards, and I'm just stuck in my own little world, and I have a wife and a child and that's my world. Do you know what I mean? My studio is at home. So like outside of like my own studio, I don't really like pay attention to what's going on.
Shut out the noise, innit?
Yeah, like I don't get me wrong.
You've always been like
I
that.
envy you, bro.
Yeah,
Can I be honest with you? At times I envy you. At times I envy you, man.
That's why I've always pushed against the manager idea and stuff. And I think because like a lot of the stuff that I've done, the links I've made and stuff, I've managed to do it on my own. Obviously, I know there's been a lot of help in the initial stages from you guys getting me into certain things and stuff.
But I did fuck all.
But you guys did though. Like everyone, especially as like you, Passion, and just to go back to Trauma quickly. I remember the first time I ever heard Trauma. Passion showed me his song "I Want It All." Yeah, and I was probably a little bit gassed in my head, although I never said it out loud, thinking, yeah, I'm the Don round here now, yeah? And then I heard Trauma, and then it put me back in my fucking place instantly, yeah? Because I was like,
the Godfather.
I am nowhere near
I
as
agree.
good.
He's definitely the Godfather of Bedford rap, and I'm going to spanner in the works it again now. And this is not nothing, I'm not saying anything that he himself would admit, right? But it almost kind of, isn't it almost like missed opportunity that someone as fucking amazingly as talented as that, as the Godfather of, but most people have never fucking heard of him.
Yeah. Mate,
and that's not a reflection on him. Big up to you, Trauma. I'm not shitting on you in any way, and we've had this conversation yourself, but it's almost indicative of our pretty shitty town that we've got so much fucking great talent here, but no one gives a fuck.
It's the same with Zedo. Zeddo is fucking
Zeddo's
amazing.
incredible.
Unbelievable.
I used to listen to Zeddo when I was in school, yeah. He used to put these mixtapes out, and I can't remember the name of them, yeah, but I had all of them, bruv. And I remember the first time I ever met him, I was just gassed. Bruv.
Is that someone you looked up to in Bedford?
Yeah, Zeddo, I looked up to
Anybody
him
else
massively,
locally
man.
in Bedford that you thought?
I always used to listen to the Macabre Unit freestyle on Radio 1.
When did you transition from rap? Did you do grime first?
Nah, it was grime first. So when I went to college, I met Bulk and the Blueprint lot. They were all just strictly grime heads, innit? Okay. So when I first started writing and first started making tracks, it was hip hop. And then I went to college, and then everyone was on grime. So I was like, fuck it, let me do grime. Era. Yes, and this was the original grime era. Like, I grew up through that whole grime era, and it's like I just loved it. Like, everything about it, I loved it. Clashing, just the speed, the fucking delivery. People like get old school gets when it was ghetto. Do you know what I mean?
Ghetto, man,
I loved that shit, bruv. So yeah, I spent all of college making grime. I'd still make the occasional hip hop track or whatever. And then it wasn't until after I left college, because even like the first project, this one is mainly grime. It's mainly
actually when you listen back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were around 1:30, late 1:30.
It's mainly like, yeah,
mainly
like
1:40, innit?
Yeah, there's a track with Genesis Elijah on there, which was my first.
Oh my!
Yeah, that one, yeah. Even that is a double time track.
Yeah, it's a double time track.
Yeah.
That was that, and I had this conversation with him. He interviewed me a few years back, and I had that conversation with him. That is actually it's the first song that put me onto you, because I'm like that. And it's one of my favorite Genesis Elijah songs. Believe
oh, for real?
Yeah.
Do you know what?
And I know for a long time, you didn't like that for a long time. I know you didn't.
Do you know what it is?
Brilliant.
I for some reason I didn't like this project that much after I'd put it out, yeah. And then, but I listened back to it recently, yeah, and I was like, this project is fucking fire, bro.
It's unbelievable,
like,
bro.
For how old I was like 18, 19 or something.
But I mean, technically, it's like, technically, it's brilliant.
Yeah. The track with Jen was he was, like I said, I used to listen to Phil Life Cypher a lot in school. Jen was one of my biggest I was one of his biggest fans, him and Wordsmith.
Mm.
And so Knee-High was his producer.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's how the link with Genesis came. I went and picked him up, drove from Bedford to Watford, picked him up, came back to Bedford.
Oh, so he's already in Watford by this point.
Yeah. We got in the studio. He wrote his fucking verse in about half an hour, sat next to me on the sofa, yeah, went in the booth, smashed it out bare quick, bruv, done the hook, and then that was it. And I was like, yeah, and then I took him back to Watford.
He did that with me. I recorded when lockdown was on, yeah? I had this thing, I wanted to put a project out, put it out, it's good. But I wanted him on it.
Yeah.
And we by this time, me and him have established a relationship. Funny enough, all around that time, when I first met Jen, he didn't like me, innit? Remember at Passion's house, I met him. You might have even been there. You lot had all been recording, and then Fat Me rolls through radio night. What are you saying? What are you man saying? And he was like, "Rub." But we interviewed him that night, and I remember him saying to me many years later, "Oh yeah, you was right after that." But where was I going with that? I can't remember.
When you first met him, he wrote his verse. Yes,
that's it. So anyway, we've established this relationship by this point. So I've sent him a track. My brethren has put this beat together, one of the best beats he's ever done, and I've I hear Jen on this. So I sent it to Jen. Did I have a verse at the time? I think I did have a verse, but I hadn't recorded it. So I sent him the written.
Yeah.
Gone out that day. I've just pulled up on my yard and I get a WhatsApp come through or whatever it was. He's fucking the beat. He's spat the most ridiculous verse. Yeah. Again, I'm trying not to be biased here. One of the best verses I've ever heard him spit. Yeah. And I got chorus as well. And I remember going, do you ever feel like, when you get something that you're like, oh my God, this is like...
Probably like you did with Philly.
Yeah. Well, even with Jen getting on that.
But two very different ends of the scale. You're an 18-year-old, newbie wanting to... I'm long done with that, and I'm just doing this project in lockdown.
Yeah.
And then to ice the cake, because I had this thing, I wanted to do it. Like, going back to what I was talking about that jealousy side of things, and I'm in a different lane now, but now I'm going to fucking do it. I'm doing it. So I put this album together. And I'm doing a radio show at the time. And I just slightly digressing. I used to play a lot of you on TST Rap Show, actually. Did you remember that? We'd always play dots, and I'd play dots, and we'd be like, yeah, you lot don't know, mate. When this guy comes back.
But we used to say people are going to hate on us.
Yeah.
We didn't care. We said, we don't care. It's Evil Twin. We're just going to keep playing it.
But we and this is 2020. This is 2020. We're playing.
Okay,
no, this is not Interbeat.
Not 2020.
No, this is, I'm talking about my.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
When I'm doing TST Rap Show. So I'm playing a lot of you in and around that time. Anyway, so what I figure is right, let me put some of these guys on, and Jen was a big supporter of the show. So you remember his 53 weeks?
Yeah,
series?
yeah.
Well, I played every single week. He did 53 weeks on putting them out, and I played every fucking song for 53 straight weeks, mate. So we had that great relationship, and then I've now got a record with him, and I got, oh, what? You're listening to Tiz on the TST Rap Show, bro. I'm feeling like fucking, like I met Santa Claus, bro. You know what I mean? And then we put this night on, and I was like, right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to perform my last time I ever step on stage, and I can name for you most of the great moments of my life. Seeing Liverpool win the Champions League in 2005, both my kids being born, Genesis Elijah performing on stage. That's probably
I think I've seen the video of it,
and Culture Festival. They're like my 5, and like so. Again, just making you understand that like that guy will put like anybody and everybody like before him to help elevate them, no matter who you are. Bet he didn't charge you, did he? Didn't charge you a penny?
No, he didn't charge me.
No,
He
didn't, mate. Of course he didn't. And when it's my turn, all them years later, didn't charge me either. You know what I mean? And it's like we can't perform it. Yeah, I can't perform it.
So
sorry,
you touched on Jen.
Just gave Jen his flowers, man. We'll have him on soon.
Yeah, he does that a lot. You tell him, say something.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
Jen gave you a verse, smashed it out and what did you feel? How quickly did you do your verse after that? Did that
my verse was done for the Jen track. Yeah, my verse was already done.
But did that show you then, right? So now if someone invites me to studio, I need to up my game.
Kind of. I mean, it blew me away how quick he wrote the verse. I was always like, if I was going studio, I would have the shit written in it. Like I would never just bowl up to the studio and just write the verse. But like now, the thing is, I look at it differently nowadays, isn't it? Because I'm not sure how old Jen was then, but he was
a lot older.
Probably
was the age. He's the same age as me.
He's probably about my age now, ish, or a bit younger. But
who, Jen?
I mean,
back then.
No, he would have been the same age gap that me and you would have been at
that
time.
What's the age gap?
What are you now, 32?
Yeah.
I'm 44. So yeah, 12 years old. So at that time he's a 30-year-old man.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So like if like I'm the age now that he would have been then ish.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So what I'm saying now is if I was to go studio, I would bowl in studio and be happy to write my verse and do it then and there. Do you know what I mean? But at the time it blew my mind. But yeah, going back to Trauma, so Trauma was a big influence and he stays a big influence and we speak regularly and yeah, I've mentioned it now, so we're gonna have to do it, ain't we? So
when I said like we want to, it was slightly tongue in cheek, but I'm being serious. Like that's something I would love to get behind and like help facilitate that happen.
I don't think he's gonna be rapping on it though. He wants to just produce it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, his production. I mean, he's been doing a lot.
Squeeze the 16.
I'm sure I'd get some verses out of him for it. Yeah,
I'm still waiting for a 16.
But yeah, no, we made a few tracks over the years. I've done a verse for one of his albums. I think there's like 3 or 4. He's on the one that we're on.
What? Which one's that?
The Evil Twin one with Peters as well.
I actually reviewed.
We've got a song all together.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Someone dropped that on the internet recently.
It was called Kane.
Yeah, somebody just randomly.
Passion just randomly made a video for it and just released it.
Yeah,
I think it was called Hard.
It is called Hard.
That's what it was called.
Yeah. You 3 in it. It's 3 of you.
And Peters.
Yeah, and Peters.
Peters is on it as well.
I remember mine.
I remember something about intravenous needle drip.
Yeah, needle drip. He's come out some mad shit. That's why I used to call him.
Bars were ridiculous.
That's why I used to call him the British Eminem. I used to say, like Eminem used to say, like put in.
I think it was like, yo, this is Evil Twin. Push the needles in. Sin.
Bro,
yeah.
The thing was, it started off like, obviously I had to go first because I was the wackest, and then it slowly.
1 second, let me get the violin.
But I'm just not.
So I went on the record anyway. So you're good.
Let me flip that. I had to go first because I was the best.
I'd have gone second on that one anyway.
But it just got better and better.
Yeah, it does.
As the verses went on.
Yeah, and then Trauma finishes it.
It's very much of his time as well.
I think no, maybe I finished
Peters finishes it.
Oh, I don't fucking know, man. I don't know. I think that tune got chopped
Trauma
around.
comes in second. It's me. This is how you kill a beat. Guerrilla speech. Big cat, quicker feet, tearing down the wildebeest. That's Trauma. Me was I've been to hell and brought the devil back. But not only that, I'm with a demon who leave an MC no cardiac. This is hell on track. You need to get familiar. Evil Twin, motherfucker, even if it kills you.
Yeah, no, that track.
I remember my bars,
because the Kane changed the beat about 50 times.
The beat was hard, bruv. The other beat
was
why
it was called Hard.
The other beat.
The beat was hard.
he just didn't want it on it. The other beat that it was originally
He changed it bare
it was
time.
evil, bro.
But that was
it
what
was
Passion
evil.
used to do that all the time, man.
Yeah, he used to do that all the time.
But-
So going back to this,
Big up Passion
we
who
need
don't
to
answer
tie
my
the
calls, but
timeline.
yeah,
back together.
I'm trying to get his timeline because I've got some.
Right.
Obviously, we can't be. I'd love to be
Yeah,
all
we
night.
need to-
These
Yeah,
guys are
yeah,
like,
yeah,
come
yeah.
on, for fuck's sake.
Right,
But,
so going back to the timeline.
I want to get his timeline.
There was like, from 2012 onwards, I was fucking flat out. So this one come out. Then the project with Flo came out as well.
That's rare as shit, that one, isn't it?
It is, yeah. There's not many people who have got a copy of this one. And then the Philly and Dots album came out, and they all came out within the space of a year of each other. And then this was the one for me.
Show the camera, brother.
This was the one for me that really changed things, because that was when it went from doing little shows in Bedford to flying to other countries and playing Glastonbury and that sort of shit. Do you know what I mean? So
Glastonbury, you know.
we done Glastonbury in 2012 when I was like 20 or something, and it was fucking nuts. It was just nuts, like just to be there. And we supported Contact Play. So Dirty Dyke, Jam Baxter, Ed Scissor, Mr. Key, and Ronnie Bosch, they've got a group called Contact Play.
Yeah.
And they were on after us, and it was the last ever show they all did together as a group. And it was just amazing because I was a massive fan of all of them. So to see them,
I remember that. Yeah, you were big into.
Yeah, I was big into all of them guys. So so then that one come about, and then I think the one that came after that was the Filthy Funk album. So this is when I did the Kickstarter.
I know.
Yeah.
Read the credits inside there. No, don't do it now. But
I
don't do it now.
I don't want to open it
Don't
because
open
it's
it.
sealed.
I've got that.
Yeah.
That has pride of place in a little box of things I keep, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember, and again, this was probably a bit of me trying to go, yeah, sorry, bro. You did a Kickstarter thing for it, and I put some money in there, man.
big up, bro.
That's brilliant. That is.
I love this album.
Yeah,
I feel like this album is criminally slept on, but
definitely. But you think it probably because it suffers in that it followed.
You love Peters as well, don't you?
Yeah, Peters is like my best friend.
Like,
he was my best friend.
Like your little brother.
As a rapper, I looked up to him.
You have great chemistry.
I looked up to him massively as well, and I think he probably influenced me. Not that our styles are the same in any way, but like, he was like a massive driving force when I was writing bars with all of them. Blueprint, man, all of them inspired me, but Peters blew my mind in the way that Trauma did. Do you know what I mean? And then so after I'd done all this lot, and I had the momentum, I was like, right, I want to try and bring him through to show people how good he is.
Yeah, man.
So we set up a Kickstarter. We were trying to get $2,000 to basically just buy all the studio equipment that Passion had. I just bought,
and he got that in like 14 days. Or
yeah. So we got quite a bit more than we needed. Yeah, we got over what we needed.
So
and
just to reiterate what he just said. So this man here, Kane said, why don't you do a Facebook? What's it called?
Kickstarter. So it's like crowdfunding.
Crowdfunding.
Yeah.
So this guy got a studio by appealing to people on Facebook. That if you're my fans, show me how much of a fan you are and donate to this.
Yeah. And in return, we'll put your name in the cover.
So how we did it was we treated it as a pre-order for this album. So we were like, right, we're making an album. Instead of buying a CD or buying the album, donate to the Kickstarter. You'll still get your CD. So it was like, if you donated, I think it was like £12, you got your CD and you got your name inside the CD.
And how much did you initially ask for?
$2,000.
And how much did you get?
Nearly $3, I think.
I remember that. Nearly over $3.
And then it was like, right, so if you donate £20, then you get this and this. And then it was like, if you donate £30, you get these free. And then if you donate £50, you get a t-shirt as well. So it was like, it wasn't like
incentives.
because people were hating on me. People were like, he's begging for money. And I was like, how am I begging for money? I'm offering a product for the same price, but it's just done in a different...
You were doing what people are doing now.
Yeah,
way back then.
It was like, instead of just taking the money and spending it on shit, it all got put in one pot, and then we bought a fucking studio from it. And I still have the same equipment. And I still use...
You still use Acid Pro?
Wow.
Bruv, I still use the same fucking software. I use Acid 7. I even have a copy of Acid 11 that Passion sent me recently. He was like, bruv, update your shit. And I was like, I don't want to because I'm scared I'm going to lose all my shit. I've got 10 years worth of music. Like, there are hundreds, if not thousands of projects on that computer, bruv. Like, it's the only thing I didn't lose when I got nicked was my studio.
So talking about people you're working with on your albums, you also work with Simeon and Grotty White.
Yeah, so let me let me
do the timeline.
Let me get down.
Breeze through it.
I'll breeze through the timeline now because I know this is getting fucking long. Right, so then after that,
other than the fact we've got people who probably think and get the fuck out of it. I would literally sit here and have this conversation till the morning. I have ADHD. I've taken my meds late today. Yeah, I've had Red Bull. I am wired as a motherfucker, bruv. You could literally sit here with me now and we could break down every track.
It's a long story.
I love it, bruv. And listen, I say it again, yeah. It will exist forever, mate. So tell your story.
Yeah. Right. So then after that, me and Richie Spitz made this one, which is The Life and Times of John Rockwell. And this was from...
Is that like a concept? Is it like, are you telling a story from a...
No, it was more of like an alter ego. So like this was, just to touch on it briefly, obviously I had some serious addiction problems. And I kind of treated it as like an alter ego, as a I suppose in a way like the Slim Shady thing, as a way for me to just make like loads of what I classed as like druggy music, which I enjoyed making at the time because I was on drugs all the time. Yeah, of course. It just, I'll tell you where the name came from just real quick, right? Someone made I ended up breaking up with one of my exes, and then someone made a fake profile of me on Facebook called John Rockwell. And added all my friends.
Don't fuck about.
And they were messaging all my friends off this profile. It had my picture, but it said John Rockwell. So because I was off my nut, I was like, well, I'm going to call the project The Life and Times of John Rockwell. So no one will know that. Whoever made that account probably saw the fact that I then used it, and I never found out who it was.
How many you got after that? Just bear with me.
4.
Right, but that's great. But because again, I do know some of the timeline, but I'm going to just do that one. And then I'm going to pause you. I'm going to pause you.
Yeah. So then after that, I did Bring the Soul Back, and that the whole kind of concept of this album was with a producer called LB Kim from Philadelphia. He's a fucking amazing producer.
A US producer.
Yeah. Yeah. So this LB Kim is from Philadelphia originally, but he lives in LA now. So this was when I'd got clean, and the whole concept of the album was I wanted to make soulful hip hop again, and it was like kind of like a double meaning because I was like bringing the soul back into my life. Of like trying,
as someone who suffered from addiction as well, robs you of your soul, mate. That's the way it does it.
So it was like
and again, I like because that was also one. There was a time where I couldn't get much of your music. I didn't have any of it. It had on hard drives, and it was just what was on, and it was Country Bumpkin and Bringing the Soul Back were two that were always on. But sometimes things would disappear and then come back.
There was like, I was always pretty shit with keeping up to date with like paying the distributors to keep the fucking music online. Like, and then I swapped as well. I swapped from TuneCore to DistroKid because you had to pay for every project or something on TuneCore, whereas DistroKid
it's a one-off fee on DistroKid.
So because I switched over, it kind of fucked things up. And then because of the headspace I was in, I was just shit at like keeping things updated.
So and that's perfect because I want to. And we're going to maybe speak a little bit in code, but look, if you know, and you'll say as much, and I'm not going to give away. But if we were we are timelining this, so I guess the peak of your career is that Philly time, and you've sort of talked us through that and it is a great story because you do it is the young kid on the come up who kind of starts to break out. And then in the context of that world you're in, make no mistake about it. If this would all occur, let's say this all occurs in LA.
Yeah.
That story is, you go from breaking, dare I say it, and I like to make people understand it. It's kind of the Kendrick Lamar story in many ways. The underdog, but supremely talented and breaks out, and here's the but bit. So you've got to touch on it there. Talk to us about the fall off and the decline and what that then kind of looks like.
Yeah, so I mean, fucking hell, there's loads of shit I haven't touched on as well, but like obviously just briefly as well to chuck it in there, like I've done a few things with Westwood in all of this time.
I was about to ask, when in that timeline did Westwood
Westwood was around the time of these. I lose track of it. I think it was 2015.
This is when you're in your peak. You're at your zenith. At this point,
I think it was 2014. I think I'd done the crib session. How I got that right? So I got a fucking DM on Twitter from BET, like actual BET, and I was like, this is definitely a fake joke page. Yeah, I was like, there's no way BET have just sent me with my 2,000 followers a DM. I've clicked on it, and it was actually BET, and they invited me to do the BET cipher in 2014.
I remember
So
that.
I went down to London. They picked me up in a fucking chauffeur-driven car, took me to this warehouse in London. It was me, Stormzy, Pagey Cakey, Young'un, and Shazar, who is Labyrinth's cousin. We were all in a circle in this fucking warehouse. You know how all the BET ciphers are.
I remember the No Lay one with all them lot. Yeah, same thing.
Westwood was the DJ. That's how I met Westwood. Like, basically what happened was I had my verse on lock, but a lot of they wanted to film it all in one go, and every time someone would fuck up, and like, not tooting my own horn, but you
had yours on lock.
Yeah, I was last, I think, out of everyone. And so it was like we had to keep redoing it. And then, yeah. Anyway, Westwood come up to me afterwards and he was like, yeah, sick. He was like, take my number. We're going to do a crib session, which to me...
He did call you dog, didn't he? He said, take my number, dog.
I think he probably did. I think he probably did. And to me, that was like...
Take my number, dog.
As a kid of my age, and probably the same with you as well, crib sessions were like the epitome of...
Bro, if Westwood asked you to do...
Yeah.
Don't forget, before Charlie Sloth, was Tim Westwood.
Yeah, he was the blueprint for everything.
Whatever his shortcomings, whatever's all that. Listen, make no mistake about it, yeah? Nobody in this country, right, is where they becomes what they become. And nobody, unless Timothy from Norfolk fucking in 95 starts the rap show. Because that changed the landscape of rap in the UK.
He did more for this country than anyone.
And you could argue whilst not doing very much for UK rappers at the same time, right? Which is the weird fucking parody of it. And I know he did later on. I know
because he was
but in the early days, rap. You didn't hear fucking rarely. You didn't hear I'm trying to think of people like Black Twang. Oh, okay, maybe a bit. But he was US. He was
especially with the crib sessions as well. It was like,
but that all come later with him though, didn't like?
Oh, I see what you mean.
In the early days, what I'm saying is, if Westwood don't do the rap show in the 90s when that kicks off, the landscape of rap in the UK is different. Because people don't hear it the same way, and he starts to drip through people. And yes, the UK hip hop scene still existed and was going on, but he never turned his back on the UK, I don't think. But I do think that he was very American-centric. He fucking even...
Yeah, definitely.
Because he went with what was what. But,
and the money.
But then to get to that point, bro, if Westwood could ring me now, I'm like, Timothy, I'm coming, bro.
How quickly did you do your freestyle after your session after
the BET thing? It was within a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I just... Because it's about 9 minutes long, I think. And I just basically put a shitload of verses together. The first beat I used was a Raiden beat because I wanted to like represent for Bedford. Raiden. So people always say like, well, not people always say, but I've seen people say, "Oh, Dot's never done shit for Bedford." I used a fucking Raiden beat on my crib session.
There you go.
Like,
yeah, but without getting too into it, and we're gonna because that's where
we're coming to that.
We're moving to that bit. But
let him finish about the Westwood crib session.
I'll get back to it.
Yeah. So we done the crib session, and then I remember I fucked the first take up, and obviously it's one take. It's like a 9-minute freestyle, and then the second one I fucking nailed it. Like, and I still watch it back occasionally, and I watch it back like, how the fuck did I manage to rap that in one take?
It is impressive.
Like, it was like the way, like it was some like fucking complicated flows and shit with like zero breath.
Yeah. And so now, this is what 2015, 2014. So
2014 it was.
And so still, to my mind. Yes, he's on his way.
That's
I was
where
22.
He's on his way.
Somebody should have got him and signed him.
It's not about getting him and signing him, but I just think you're there.
It was.
But let him tell it. Like why didn't it happen? Because
I don't know. Yeah,
I think the musical landscape has something to do with that. Because I know what you're saying about getting signed. I'm not dismissing what you're saying, but it's not. People think, you sign on the dotted line. No, you just signed a loan, basically. But I do know what you're saying. But where does it start?
No, the recognition was there.
So like at the same time, I was doing all the rap battles, and like Jump Off was 2012 and 13, but after that it was Don't Flop, and then Don't Flop. Even though I never classed myself as a battle rapper, I was just a rapper who did battles occasionally to help get my name out because the battles would get bare views.
Yeah.
Most of them were freestyle battles. I did some big ones. Like I battled DNA for fuck's sake and Sharon. Like they're two of the biggest batters in the world, bro. And they still are.
Yeah.
So I just did it for the fact that I knew they'd get hundreds of thousands of views. Man. But at the same time as doing all of that, I was struggling with things in my personal life massively, my mental health and addiction problems and shit. And I was just doing so much music and working with so many people and trying to do so many collabs. And I just fell out of love with it. And I had loads of money, not just from like music shit, but just from other stupid shit I was doing. And I wasn't working and basically just spent my time taking drugs and making music. And then it didn't take long before the taking drugs overtook making music.
But when you're
I mean?
spiraling, you don't know you're spiraling until you come out. You look back up and you're like, fuck, what was it?
And then, so...
Does that come part and parcel with the music game, Dots?
Not necessarily, but I mean...
Just from experience, because from me being in the music scene for nearly 30 years...
I mean, a little bit, but
I've seen drinking drugs a lot.
I think it's never society, but
do you know what? I would like... None of the stuff that happened with me was ever anything to do with anybody else. Like it was solely to do with me. Like no one ever said, "Here, take this," or "Here, do that." It was me sourcing my own shit, and like it was just. I heard you say earlier, like it was just you at home. That was what it was with me. Like it wasn't me socially taking drugs with people. It was me at home trying to escape the world, sort of thing. And that's just it happened and it started.
I've never sniffed cocaine off a public toilet. Let me just
don't
put it that
forget
way.
what you said. You was a person that kept yourself to yourself. What was it? The word recluse.
Introvert.
Yeah. So you was reclusive. Remember what you said at the start.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, bruv, you're in rap battle. You got hundreds, if not thousands, of people. People screaming your name, wanting to hear your music.
It was difficult to deal with.
At a young age, you had a big demand. Then Westwood's hitting you up, and then people like Charlie Sloth.
You're not living a normal life in any way, are you?
Yeah. Is that fair to say that you were dealing with the fame side of it, like that kind of thing?
I guess so. I mean, I never even saw it as like I was in any way famous, but I know that people knew who I was, and like it would overwhelm me sometimes the amount of people that would be messaging me, and I'm not too bad these days, but back then I was quite like anxious, and I've never been like the loudest in the room. Do you know what I mean?
No.
So, but then people expect Dots. Like there's Dots, and then
Dots
there's
the music man,
and then there's
Dots.
Dom. It's like I'm Dom.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But when I'm on stage, I'm Dots, and I can be that Aggie. Like I can be what they want.
It becomes
the cocky rapper.
It becomes a form of escapism, though, doesn't it?
Like an alter ego.
And then almost what happens is the minute you step off stage as Dots, I've got to be Dom again. Leave me alone. I'm not Dots anymore. I just want to be Dom.
That's what it was.
And they won't leave you alone as Dom.
And then because we were doing so many shows, and it was just like, I think my mental health just took a battering, and I didn't help myself in any way. And then but like long story short,
speaking to the mic, Dots.
Yeah, long story short, like it kind of just escalated to the point where I was just like, I'm not making music now. Like all I'm doing is other shit. And then I ended up getting I got in a police chase after a show at Esquire's because I was off my head.
I remember that.
It was bad. I mean, it was cool as fuck because it was like, you know, when you're a kid and you're playing Grand Theft Auto and you're like, I'd love to do that in real life. And it was like, I know it's so bad to say, like I actually don't regret it because it was fun.
Speak your truth, bro.
But it was fucked up. Like it was bad. It was proper bad. And I ended up getting banned, and I was on a suspended sentence, and I had community service and loads of shit from this chase, and I had to move into town. And when I moved into town, that was when shit went sideways properly for me, because I was so close to like everything I needed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then
the perfect place to be if you're on a downhill spiral.
Yeah,
everything's there.
Yeah. Like
Pilgrims for cheap drinks.
I was living on Amtill Road, for fuck's sake. So it was like,
I remember that, bruv.
Yeah,
little flat round the back.
Yeah, so it was like, and then that's what took over, and that my sole purpose in life was that for a while. And then I started getting involved in stupid shit, and I was still doing other stupid shit in the background to fund my lifestyle. And then then I got nicked, and because I was on a suspended sentence, I got remanded straight away anyway, and they wouldn't give me bail because they said I was a flight risk. And then I didn't come home for 3 years.
Wow.
So,
fucking hell, bro. I'm not saluting it because of what, but I have to say, you spoke.
No, but how you've come out of it.
To hear a man speak his truth like that, and again,
because don't forget, bruv, at one point, this is a kid from Bedford.
I know.
Who's a rap battle UK champion. Everybody's screaming his name. Then he's on stage at Glastonbury. Then he's with Westwood, Charlie Sloth. The next minute,
gone.
Yeah.
Why? I should have managed him, bro.
I mean, to be fair, he probably has got a point.
Listened to me.
Do you know what? I like to argue with him. I was ready to, and I went, nah, the man's kind of.
No, but do you know what? I'm happy you touched on this. I weren't going to touch on it.
We
had
the conversation.
We discussed it. We weren't discussing it unless you felt comfortable. And I'm glad. Do you know why, bruv? Because there's a lot of people out here that are going down the same fucking route, bruv. And only people like you who have been there and done it can actually help these kids
100%.
and push them on the right track and path,
and that
brother.
doesn't mean you have to even stand and do anything.
No.
And I'll
Just
say
tell your
this
story.
I'll say this for my little monologue
Mark,
at the end.
trust me.
But just saying that to people, yeah. And look, everyone's addiction problems are their own. Don't matter. Yeah. I'm worse than you. I mean, I've heard crackheads argue over who's a bigger. Well, cokeheads argue over who's the biggest cokehead.
Have you seen the Instagram? Because I'm a crackhead. Because I'm a fucking crackhead too.
But that's what it's like. But I think when you're in that addiction, and you know, some of us, I'm sure you got some stories, and I've got some stories, and we could swap stories all night.
Yeah.
We don't need to deep dive.
But not many people. What I'm saying is this: a lot of people do. But there aren't many people who are able to come the other side because it isn't an illness that does kill thousands of people every year.
Yeah.
And I think when you do come out the other side of it and you're able to tell that story, even just as an average Joe on the street who, you know, works as whatever job it is, that in itself is very powerful.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I got a friend she goes through ups and downs, but I've been to meetings with her and it's inspiring to see the way people admire her and whatnot. But I think when you've also kind of gone through that, and we spoke about on the last episode about how Culture Festival guys dealt with grief in a very, very public way. And it's safe to say that, you know, your story kind of, without whether you like it or not, will play out in public. And even if that public is 2,000-3,000 of the fans who've seen you do shit. And the point I'm making here is if you're then able to sit there and that story is told and people hear that, someone somewhere will be sat there fucked.
Yeah.
Thinking, I'm never going to get out. And then they see people who do, man. And I think that, I know you're introvert, and no one's saying you have to go and stand up and do Jordan Belfont type speeches. But what I am saying is that you should be really proud that you kind of get to this point that you, without being overly dramatic, you live to tell the tale. Because there are so many fucking examples.
It could have gone wrong, yeah.
Yeah, but I nearly didn't, man. Like, I nearly died many times, like badly, like nearly died many times.
Well,
like,
listen, it goes without saying, we are absolutely glad that you didn't.
Thank you, me too, man.
I was going to ask you, I mean, there's a couple of questions I was going to ask, but they've kind of been answered within there. But so I'm going to say this as a statement. I think no. Let me ask you. Do you think he should have been bigger? In terms of when you think of rap in this country,
I was screaming from the day I met him. I said, "I've found the British Eminem." But this guy's, I thought he's going to make me millions.
I get that comparison.
Then he went and got a free T-shirt and fucked off.
but I think again, geography plays a massive part of that. If you'd have been born in fucking Kilburn and that journey's exactly the same, you're mentioned like the way people talk about K Coke. Someone like that, yeah. Geography plays a huge part in it. Of course it does. The lottery of where you're born will sometimes help or hinder you. We, of course, know that. So I'll now ask you that question. Do you sometimes look at that whole thing that you just told there and do you have any regrets, any missed opportunities? Do you think that you should have been bigger or are you just, fuck it, my journey's my journey and it is what it is?
I don't know, man. Like, I feel like the thing that frustrates me the most now is I know I'm at my peak now. Every time I make something new, I feel like it's the best thing I've ever made. And it probably isn't, but I feel like that. And I know that the latest album that I've done and the projects that I'm making at the moment are by far the best shit I've ever made. And I've probably got the smallest listener base now because of taking 5 years away from it. And I'm doing everything I can to build that back up again. So that's what frustrates me.
Get on TikTok, mate.
Do you know what?
Tick dots.
I have got one, yeah, but I don't have time, bruv. Like, I've struggled with Instagram and like I work like 50 hours a week.
Can you see him doing lives?
Bruv, he would kick you. If he went on, let me just tell you this now, what I already know, right? If he went on live,
no, but you have to keep talking.
No, if he went on lives and just literally rapped, them fucking mad, fucking
dots. Have you been on TikTok?
I've got a TikTok.
Esophagus, homophagus, I'll wrap you in a tophagus and all that mad shit that this guy does. But they would literally come off there. Oh, we're not on now. If I fucking make £1,000 a fucking life, they would lap it up.
Have you seen the rappers that do what he's saying right now?
No.
There's guys on there.
It's a crazy world.
Guys on there right now that are you either 10 years in front or 10 years behind. There's people out there just like you, brother, with same and similar stories to you, doing this, making thousands of pounds on TikTok, just freestyling and
it's
enjoying
a world of
what
its
they
own.
do.
It's crazy.
People do tell me, man, but I just like I'm just not that guy, man. I'm not the social media guy.
Okay.
And this has probably been one of my biggest downfalls as well, is the fact that like,
why don't you learn from your mistakes then?
Because I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that fucking loser that sits in front of his fucking phone rapping to people.
we've got a new TikToker. TikTok. He just for the last 3 days.
No,
for
real,
TikTok
for real. Like, I don't want to be that.
Fucking TikTok for hours
I don't want
to
be that fucking guy.
He's been doing exactly what you just described.
No offense.
Not rapping. I have not been rapping. I didn't rap at all.
No, of course you would.
No, but
you would
let's speak like. But you're far more extroverted person than I am.
You just took the words out of my mouth, and I was kind of saying, but look, I think that everybody has to go there. There's no point. So people say shit to me. You should do this. You should do that. Now, I'm not an introvert, so my answer is you should shut the fuck up and let me do what I'm doing. And I kind of hear that's what you're
the same with my answer.
But you just more tactful than me, bro.
But do you know what my problem is, bro? If you want to become that artist, you have to move with the time.
But I don't want to become that artist anymore. There you go. This is the point I've reached with my life now, yeah. I am just happy and content making amazing music. I have a core fan base. Might sound big-headed. I think my music is amazing. I know, yeah, if I could pick like 5 of what I think are my best tracks and show them to every rap fan in this country, I know that every single one of them, or at least 4 out of 5 of them, would be listening to my music from that point onwards, because I've started doing a little bit of social media stuff with like promoting reels and stuff like that. And bruv, in the last like couple weeks, the amount of fucking followers I've got, or the amount of people that message me, it's like, I said to my missus last night, I was like, it's getting too much. And this is like small scale, but I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it for that anymore.
The
like,
problem we got is, I think,
is it? Sorry, go on, you go first.
You're a talented guy, over talented, but you don't know how to deal with the talent you got. Does that make sense?
It does, and that kind of leads on to my question as well. That's a good question because, and again, you tell me. But is some of that, do you sort of sometimes sit there and sometimes, so you just, because you mentioned there, your phone's starting to go off again and that now. Does that take you back to a place where it was like, fucking hell, man, leave me alone?
No, like, don't get me wrong, like, I try and reply to everybody and sometimes it's cool, but like, other times I'll just...
No, I meant more within you. Does it take you back to an old place where it's like, I want that again?
Not really, not really. But like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm content doing what I'm doing. And if anything comes from it, then
and
sweet.
I think sometimes that's the way to be in it. Let's do what you do.
Yeah, I feel like I enjoy making music now more than I ever have. Yeah, because I'm just doing it because I enjoy it.
Because you enjoy it.
For me, it's like it's a compulsion. Like I try and explain this to people. Like making music for me is like my biggest addiction. It's like
I understand that.
If I don't do it, I start to fucking go mad.
So when people say to me, why do you write music and don't release anything? And I say, it's my diary.
Yeah, 100%.
You know how people write a diary, their daily thoughts, their whatever. When I write something, when I write a bar or a 16 or an 8, that's me just expressing
Anybody
myself.
listening to this podcast who doesn't know who I am, go on Spotify and you will learn exactly who I am. And like you said about doing things that can help people, I've written multiple tracks, very deep
I think you already do. Yeah, you already do it.
I've done it already.
I bet there's thousands of you.
I get a lot.
Talented.
I get a lot of people messaging me saying like, if it wasn't for this song, I wouldn't be here, or like this song has helped me.
And
like,
that is so powerful, man.
Yeah, and to me, that's like that. That's all. That means everything. And I've done.
Bruv, you're saying what like someone like Phil Collins, Michael Jackson, Eminem, Jay-Z would say. You're talking big talk here, where people have said you've helped me through times with your song,
and
that's not a small thing, bro.
It's quite a frequent thing I get as well.
So this is going back to where I said like you're over talented, yeah. And in this day and age, you have to be out there you have to create content. You have to be out there on social media to get like your fan base. You want to build up your fan base a little bit. How many like you can? But
he's saying he's already got that core fan base and he's quite content.
Yeah, but what's going to happen? What's going to happen is when he's content with his fan base, but then you've got 500,000 people now that have discovered him. Now they're his fan base. So what I'm trying to say is, when he gets to that point now, he's happy, content with 2,000 or 3,000. But when he gets to 500,000 and it hits him again, what we want to do as a collective, as brotherhood, we want to make sure that he don't go down that spiral again and get him the right thought process or even the right help or whatever to make sure that he keeps ascending and going up.
I think
not going back down that spiral.
I'm not sorry to talk about him like he's not.
I don't know if I'm chatting shit here.
No, you're not. I see what you're trying to say.
But I know this guy's got it. I knew 20 years ago who's got it.
But I think what I've heard today, and I'm just going to give you my summary on this, and then I'm getting the toolkit out because we're throwing a spanner. Not about you, by the way, but your opinion is important on this. But what I've seen today, and I know what you're saying, because
what am I saying?
You're saying what you've just said. That you care about the guy and you want
to make sure I don't go down shit's creek again.
No, because if you're coming out as a musician, Dots, you're not going to just have 2 or 3 or 5 or 10.
Hear me out.
You're going to have motherfucking. You're going to have a lot of people listening to your shit, bruv.
What I see before me today and listen before me today is a guy who's kind of gone on that journey, and you still seem a bit introverted and whatnot. But that's your nature. No one's trying to change your fucking personality. But I see a guy who's kind of understands his own journey and is comfortable with it and is quite content with where he is. And if 500,000 people come along, I imagine he'll act like he does when there's 2,000 people there. In so much as he's not in that space now where that shit is going to affect him in the negative way because he's at peace with who he is. And that's what it's about. You can have all the things in the world, all the adulation, you can be at rock bottom, but the only people that ever who are truly happy are those that are happy and comfortable with themselves. You don't find that from anything that comes in from outside. You find it from within yourself. And that takes adversity. That takes reaching rock bottom. It takes a lot of self-reflection. It takes a lot of fucking self-awareness, which most people don't have. And it takes honesty. And that's what I've seen sat before me today.
Yeah, but what's going to happen when BET hit him up again? What's going to happen when the fucking Kenny All-Star hits him up again? This is what I'm saying, bruv. This guy is a talented musician. His catalogue speaks for itself. We know from experience, and the people that are probably watching this who are fans of his battle rap or his music know this. What I'm saying is, if you're going to come out as a musician or a rapper, be ready, bruv, because I
hear what you're saying, but listen, respectfully, I ain't coming out. I've been here.
He's been here
from day one.
I know what you're going to say.
I know, Sonny.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Speaking of which, because
we're getting late.
Yeah, we're getting late, and there's a couple of things I want to get just got to kind of go for a run, not wrap up, but there's a couple of things. So look, obviously you're back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Hit us with them last 3, man. Tell us
3
what
winners. So this one, I wrote this in jail, and to a bunch of beats that I never would have written to because I had extremely limited access. Got out, recorded the album, sent it to a bunch of different producers, and we remade all the tracks. So yeah, there's actually a song on this called "Scared That I Won't Wake Up," which is one of the deepest songs I've ever written.
Yeah, I've heard me and you might have spoke about
maybe.
That song. I remember sitting in my shed one night. Yeah.
I remember. So that's one of the deep ones. But yeah, so this was the comeback album. So yeah, 3 winters. This was 2013, and then earlier this year I released Sometimes Crawling, Sometimes Walking.
There's a track with you and he's now known as JJ Rivers. There's a track with you two on there.
Yeah.
What's it called? Remind me.
How About You?
Yeah. It's quite early on in it, isn't it?
It's the first track other than the intro. Yeah.
When did you release that?
It was like May or March.
That is wicked. You
lot are so old school. Have you not realised something? The guy's holding a CD that he released this year. Fuck's sake, who does that these days? That's how old school we are.
Yeah, but you
lot didn't even blink an eye.
Nah.
I was going to say, can we find that on Spotify?
It's on Spotify.
Yeah, it's on
all of them albums. Can we find
everything?
them all?
Everything's on there. Yeah, everything's on there.
But Sonny thinks because you've got them there.
But no, let me tell you one thing.
The guy's holding a CD, and you didn't even blink an eye.
The reason I press CDs is because I get the same amount of money for one CD sale as I get for 8,000 streams on Spotify.
Yep.
So I still press CDs.
Music's a horrible game to get into right now.
So I still press CDs. And the latest album, which I'll get to now super quick. So this one, Metazapine Dreams, we've just dropped it on Bandcamp exclusively. This is the deluxe version, which has 6 extra tracks. There's vinyl for this as well. So we've got CD and vinyl. The CDs and vinyls have got 6 extra tracks. The 16-track version of it is dropping on Spotify and all the streaming sites on October 27th. We made the money back for the CDs in like 2 hours.
There you go.
On pre-sale.
There you go,
so
local rappers.
That's why we do CDs.
There you go.
Do you know what you need to do now? Find a cheap link in China. Remember the little the CD player, the portable ones?
Yeah.
It is. You get one of them every time you buy an album, mate. So
do you know what?
Not many. How many people are going to have a CD player?
Yeah, but most people that buy my CDs, they're not listening to them.
Okay.
We sign them, and
they're collective.
They never open them.
That's what they've become now. Effectively, is collect. Because here's the thing.
Yeah.
I can, because the people that buy them have still got Spotify and Tidal, so they're going to go, I support you as a fan. So what that's not a music release, it's a merchandise.
Yeah, I get it.
It just happens to be.
But still, that would be sick. Imagine you got a DVD, you got a CD player.
I have to say, like, listening to that, and this is going to, another great segue, I'm getting good at this, guys. There's a lesson in there for a lot of, like, up and coming, aspiring local rappers. You see where this is going, isn't it? We do. Come on, man. It's been smooth sailing so far. But yeah, there's a lesson in there for that you can take that old school approach, and that is, I have to say, and having listened not all of it, like it all together in a long time. There's stuff I would have definitely missed in there. But, you know, knowing your catalogue and now underpinning that with a journey, like, it just comes back to what I said. And I started the whole thing on this. And although I'm controversial and people fucking hate what I said what I said, yeah? That is what a rapper from Bedford looks like. All right? In case you were wondering. We've now committed it to film for you. You've got the entire story. You've got the whole catalogue. Go do your thing. And don't fucking DM me with, I want to come on your show until you've done that. All right? I made myself clear.
Local rappers. Do you rate anybody locally still now?
Easy. Nice segue there, Sonny. We're getting good at this.
I'm not going to lie, yeah. I don't really...
Have you heard of anyone?
I'm not massively up on who's doing... I know there's a bunch of younger guys that I've seen a few videos from. I mean, obviously, for me, it would probably still be the same guys that I've rated from before. I've always rated ZO. I know that Locke is still doing stuff. I've always rated Locke.
He's actually not, to be fair, and I'll touch on that.
Is he not doing stuff?
Not really. Which Locke is a good example, right? In many ways, Locke could have been to Grime what you are to rap from this place, and no one else can say it. And I think he is an even bigger missed opportunity because I think
I think there's a lot of missed opportunities.
There is definitely, and I feel a lot of it comes down to personal preference. But I definitely really feel with him. I was listening to Locke the other day. I was listening to a Locke track the other day, Set It, and he's got a charisma on the mic, and arrogance on the mic, and an almost a kind of he's telling you to fuck off without even telling you to. It's just, and you've got a lot of that about you. You've both got a mic presence that, and I think that Locke. Yeah, could have.
We bumped into each other actually about 6 months ago, something like that. Yeah, at Honeycrust, and I think we said about doing something.
Oh, that's a link up.
Do you know what? We've actually done a track before.
What? It's out there.
Yeah.
Is it out there?
Yeah. I ain't even gonna say where. It's up to people to find it, and it's like an Easter egg.
No way.
There's a
Dots and Lock track.
There's a Dots and Lock track.
And if I knew where to find it now, I could go and get it.
Yeah, you could find it. Yeah,
it'd be on Bandcamp.
You could find it.
Bandcamp.
I don't think it's on Bandcamp. But so local rappers, obviously, like I've always got love for Bulk. I mean, he's been consistent with releasing stuff. Don't know if he's done too much recently. But
he's been too busy getting Bulk.
For me now he can actually call himself Bulk.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, for me personally, the two guys that I actually make a lot of music with and are very good friends of mine is Grotty White and Simeon. That they're not from Bedford.
I know Grotty White and Simeon because
I see you put Simeon in your top 5 rappers from Bedford or something like that.
When I was doing radio, funny, I did it here. I was doing radio at the time, and I was really pushing everybody. And I discovered Simeon because that's what I did. I didn't look at it as I'm just going to play people that I like, despite what MLT said. You bred local, man. No, I don't. I listen to music and objectively put it out there. I'm on smoke tonight. No, but seriously, yeah. And I discovered him, and he had a track. I can't remember what it was called, and I just liked it.
It's just a cool guy.
We all made. So they mentioned on the last episode. Original Culture Festival guys mentioned the way that people approached them. Me and you had a conversation not long ago when you was doing Drop Zone and the way someone approached you. And he just approached me. I hit him up and said, I like your song. And he was like, thank you for playing it on the radio. And them guys would sit and listen and and that's how I discovered Grotty White. And then next thing I look, you guys are all working together. And I'm
yeah. So Grotty has a collective called Lower Sector.
That's right, yeah.
And
where are they from?
Yeah. Biggleswade.
Biggleswade.
Yeah.
Yes,
so then I joined Lower Sector. I think it might have been sometime end of last year. And yeah, so since then we've just been rolling like almost as a trio. So like most of the shows I do, they do the support slot before. I'll come on and do a couple tracks with them of theirs. And then when it's my set, they come back up and do a couple tracks with me. And it just fucking works perfectly because we're all there together. The last one we done was the Fly Hooligan gig in Milton Keynes. It was fucking sick. And the set
that's
was
when
dope.
I was meant to come to. I was at Centre Park.
Yeah,
I can't take my missus to UK hip hop gigs on her birthday anymore.
Yeah, no, it just works, man. And they've both become very, very good friends of mine, especially Grotty. Me and Grotty are very.
They're both actually like. I mean, I don't know Grotty that well, but Simeon is just like a proper nice lad.
They're both
nice guy, man.
They're both.
He's really. I like him as well.
They're both top guys. They're top rappers, and yeah, for me, those are the two main guys. And I know there's probably loads of people that I've missed or forgotten, and it's no hate or whatever.
Of course
it's
not.
just
I was kind of joking when I said that because I'm going to throw the spanner in the works. But there is one person that I really want to draw your attention to, and actually having sat here now and listened, I think you might agree with me on this. I think that again, everything we've spoke about on that cusp, and there's actual fucking things to support that, and that's Tom in the Chamber. and not in terms of style. He is not a word. He's not a wordsmith. You and him don't have any comparison in terms of styles. That's not what I'm saying. But that story that you've just told, I kind of see Tom's going on his version of that, and the numbers back it now as well.
So he come onto my radar like quite recently. Actually, I followed him on Instagram, and I'd seen a couple people that I follow like reposting videos of his, and he's sick. He's fucking sick, and he's doing numbers, bruv. Because do you know what it is? He is smart. He's collabing a lot, which is one fucking good way of getting your numbers up. Is collabing a lot.
You piggyback on there,
and he's multi-genre. Like he's rap, grime, and he's doing DMB and DMB.
He's been working with Turno. You're aware of Turno?
Me and Turno know each other.
Do you know Turno? You do?
I know Turno. Yeah.
Okay, so he's his best friend. One of his best friends, my absolute day one. Donnie,
I see all them lot working together, man.
Yeah, they're all working together.
They've got a sick thing going on, man.
What is that? Is that someone you'd work with?
Yeah, 100%.
I'd love to see
100%,
that. I would love to see. I would. And just you mentioned about multi-genre and sifting into, you did grime and that. We're seeing it. I mean, record got to number 1 with a rapper over DB. Is that a lane you maybe see yourself stepping into?
Yeah, definitely. I've had people hit me up because I'll rap double time on a 90 BPM beat anyway.
Yeah.
So that's drum and bass tempo.
I'm seeing it.
So I know it wouldn't be an issue for me. It's just I've just never really done it.
I'm putting it out there now, and this is committed. I would love to see a Turno Dots record, mate. That is for the culture. Bruv,
I'd love that too, man. I'd love that too. Let's make it happen. Turno.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make that one happen, bruv.
He's got Dizzy. Yeah. He's got DWE.
Yeah.
He's got Morrison, I think. Yeah. He's got all of them, man.
H. But for me, that's a mate. I don't know if anyone was into wrestling back in the day, but back in the day, or boxing, you always have your dream matchups in it. What would it be like to see Ali fight Tyson?
He's another one.
Bruv, my goosebumps, are on 10 right now. Dots and Turno. Oh my. And then throw Tom on there as well. Bruv!
I feel like we'd smash it. We would smash it. I know we'd smash it.
Come on.
I've actually got a bunch of tracks on another album that I'm working on at the moment, and it's like more of a commercial sounding album, like more of a new school American kind of sounding album. And a lot of the beats are 90 BPM, but I double time on them. And like,
double time on 90. That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, I know that it, like,
all right, well, look,
I know I can rap on drum and bass.
I'm not going to reveal it yet because it hasn't been like signed, and I don't want to like jinx it yet. But we may be in a position where we can literally put that, and also like I could pick the phone up now and go. I won't say. I'll say it. Miss Green, you couldn't ring Frank and see if there's any chance we. So we can possibly. I don't know yet. But I think we can maybe make that happen.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I've got Turno on Instagram. Like, we like each other's shit, and I've known him for years. It's not like he's a stranger. Like, if I bumped into him in the street, we'd have a kind of catch up. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. Are you similar age? He's a bit older.
Yeah, we probably are. He's probably a little bit older than me. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I should probably just hit him up.
Yeah, man, do
hit
that.
Hit him up, bro.
Hit him up, and then you hit him up. I'll get them to hit him up, and if what we're trying to pull off comes off, we'll literally just me and Sonny will just be like, come on, bro.
Yeah,
it'll happen.
I'd be on it, man.
But it's not a musical one. And again, I often sit on here and talk about the town and yada yada. And maybe it seems like I highlight the negative. I don't. I just talk about it in real terms. But actually, when you get the ability to watch these all back in the future, the one thing that I do is I champion this town, man. I think that there's so much here that should be seen and heard. But if you're gonna have the nice pile of niceness, you also have to understand that there's also another pile, and that's what we kind of do. But
what's next?
Right. Oh yeah, go on. Sorry.
For me, the main thing now is this album with DJ Goblin. So we've got 2 more videos coming out. We're dropping one tomorrow, so that'll be out by the time this podcast comes out.
With the guy from America?
Nah, so DJ Goblin's from London, but he works with a lot of American artists. But this album it's called Metazapine Dreams, and all the songs have
What's
got
Metazapine?
It's it's an antidepressant.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's used for like OCD, anxiety, and stuff. I'm on it myself personally.
Okay.
But one of the side effects is it causes crazy fucking dreams. And when he started sending me beats, they just for some reason reminded me of all these mad dreams I'd been having. So this kind of got a loose concept of like every track is almost like some kind of nightmare. It's a fucking dark. It's a very dark album.
I like, but sometimes, sometimes I like that, man. Sometimes I want to hear like people telling me some nice, bouncy stuff, and from time to time I want to hear people to go on some dark shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
This is definitely dark as fuck. But yeah, it's my favorite project.
Do you know, I've realised through going through that catalogue, you said loose concept, but I don't think people give you enough credit for how conceptual you actually have been throughout your entire kind of career. You've kind of, everything seems to have a theme running through it, and it's what I've really enjoyed from this. Cause I've been like I'm in fanboy territory now. After the apology, I'm in fanboy territory now. I mean, I'm good. But you can see your story of your life literally in your music, and I said it on the last one. I'll say it again.
That's what it does, man. Music tells a story.
People live forever. So we are pretty much close to wrapping up. Yeah, we pretty much are. But before we do, first of all, I just want to say thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Big up, Dots, man.
Yeah, man. We said it a lot
when we first started this, and I feel like Nori from Drink Champs. But when we first started this, we were like, "What guests are we gonna have?" Both of us said Dots.
We did, and I wanted to for many reasons.
If anyone from Bedford, and the worst thing is because you've been away for a little while, bruv, these younger men don't know who you are. Bruv.
Yeah, probably.
They don't.
Probably, yeah.
And another question: have you spat to drill yet?
Yeah, I've got. Do you know what? Weirdly enough, yesterday an album came out by a guy called Big Red Cap. That you might know.
I've not.
I've made tracks with him before, and we've got there's a drill track on that album, but it's like. It's drill, but done in like our way. Yeah, so it's like how I would rap, but on a drill beat. And the track's called "Wake Up." So if you Spotify Dots "Wake Up,"
have you shot a video for it?
Nah, he lives in Australia.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna listen to that. I'll tell you why, because if these kids hear on their rhythm, just like Grime, innit? If these hear it, then obviously I'm gonna need to hear it first. Hear that
I made a few actually. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, go on, bro.
No, it's good, man. That was good. It was an interesting question, actually, because I learned something new. So yeah, look, you know what I'll just say, mate. Look, it's good.
Give him his flowers, brother.
Yeah, we want to give you your flowers. It's good to see that you're happy. I kind of went on to a bit of a monologue about it earlier, but what I've sat here and seen today is a guy who really has kind of come full circle in so many ways. And look, you know, we said when we started this, it was about celebrating people who deserve to be celebrated, and I've said it a million times. Especially people who come from Bedford, who have bucked that mentality and taken our little town, well, relatively, small town, out to the world, and you're definitely someone that's done that. And again, not only do I think that you're super talented, I think your story is really, really interesting. It's great to get to know that, but I think it's one that will inspire people. So I wish you a lot of health, a lot of happiness for many years to come.
Thank you, man.
Big up our brother, episode 5 Spanning the Work podcast guest, man like Dots.
Big up, Dots.
But
thanks for having me.
We're nearly finished, but we're not quite there yet, guys. You lot have been amazing. We need to make some noise for our
JG visuals.
These guys have
in
been
the place.
That's for you. You've got your very own one. I'm gonna get your little tagline on here as well. But you guys have been amazing. Thank you very much. Now, we got some questions for you. Do you ever watch Drink Champs?
I've seen clips.
So they do. I mean, this is definitely not the environment to do what they do, but they do a thing where they ask you questions, and if either or either, and if you don't, you have to take a shot.
Yeah.
No one's taking any shots. I don't drink. I gave up alcohol.
Yeah, I've stopped drinking as
completely.
Well. Yeah.
How long?
It's been about 2 months.
Oh, well, congratulations, brother. I'm a year in. It gets easier every time. And something you said earlier that really resonated with me was that how being creative is now your drug. I remember I'd actually, in the 12 months of not drinking, I did 100 gigs. I didn't realize that till the end. And about 3 or 4 gigs into the non-drinking, I remember like at first it was like, fucking hell, I'm gonna hate this. It's gonna be shit. I remember the fourth gig, I come out as buzzing, and I was like, and it kept happening. And my drug is DJing and entertaining people. So listen, stay on that journey, man. It's fucking great, and your skin gets better. Your skin gets better. You lose better weight.
This and that,
and you fuck better as well. I said it. Right? I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for him. Right, this or that. Okay, no drinks involved. But if you can't answer,
you owe us a $5.
You owe us a $5 for our charity, which is Mind.
All
right. We need to keep a track of that. Punjabi MC owes us 20 quid because his fee went up. Original Culture Festival owes us a tenner, and we'll double it at the end of the season as well. So, start with a nice easy one for you. London or Birmingham?
London.
All right, nice easy one.
Don't flop or jump off.
Oh,
jump off.
Why? Why jump off over? I thought you just said don't flop. Why?
Because although on YouTube watching the jump off battles back, they look and seem a bit shit. Nothing will ever compare to the energy.
Was crazy.
The energy in those rooms was fucking insane, and I've never felt anything like it since.
Cool, wicked. You got him in front of you.
It's you, yeah, it's you.
All right. UK or Norway?
In what sense?
Just as countries. Just that's
Whatever sense you want to make it.
Take it however you like.
Why Norway?
That's where my wife's from.
okay.
UK.
Research your guests, yeah?
UK.
No, I know that.
As a country?
Yeah, only because my wife doesn't want to live in Norway anymore.
Okay, cool. No worries.
Mornings or evenings?
Evenings.
All right. Skinny Man or Kalashnikov?
Clash.
Dave or Stormzy?
Dave.
Dizzy or Wiley?
Wiley.
That's
Okay.
quick.
So you've gone Clash, Dave, Wiley.
I know your answer to this one. UK hip hop or US hip hop?
UK hip hop.
All right. Garage or drum and bass?
Drum and bass.
I did skip one, Sonny. We'll save that one to the end.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think.
Go after garage. You pick whichever one you want, no matter.
And I'm trying to think of my own ones.
Come on. We've got a list. Should have thought of them before.
Sci-Philly or Genesis Elijah?
Oh,
my. Philly, man. That's my brother.
Yeah, quick.
What, Jen N?
1 second. You just gave a fucking long monologue. Yeah, that was what I set that up for. Like mine to sitting there now going, fuck. You said you set that up for a £5 there, Warren. You said he would pay her. I set that up for a £5. You're good, man. You're good. I like you. That's the second guest that's fucked me over on this and that, man. All that prep that's gone into it, and they're just laughing at me. I will catch him out on one, I promise you. Go to the third one, the one above that one. Oh, I've got two we'll catch him out on.
Okay, go on then.
Change Ricky Worthless to the other guy, though. Right, Royal Family or Republic?
What? Say that again?
Royal Family or a Republic?
Republic. I'm confused at the question, I think.
Well, the question is, would you rather we were a Republic, so we don't have a king or queen?
Oh, yeah,
like,
Republic.
Royal
yeah.
Family.
Republic. Would you rather we were a Republic or had a Royal Family?
Yeah, Republic. We don't need a royal family. It's not 1700s.
That's why we asked that question, all right? It's not a stupid question, all right? Write better ones yourself. Your turn.
I'm trying to think of one.
Why are you dagging? They've written down.
No, I don't want them. They're rubbish.
Amy Winehouse or Adele?
No, you got big.
Winehouse. All day.
Someone said Adele, actually, last time.
JJ Rivers or Bulk?
Oh! You've got him!
JJ Rivers, man. He was the best man at my wedding, bruv.
I thought we got 5 of it.
As much as I love Ruben, like Peters was the best man at my wedding. I gotta go.
We're not gonna catch him out, bro. There's nothing left.
You have to remember, bro. Freestyle champion. I can think on my feet.
He's good, mate. Very good. Grotty White or Simeon?
Grotty. No. Again, no offense.
To be fair, he did say that.
No offense to Sim, but me and Grotty do a lot together.
Can't catch him out.
And you doing any shows? Anything
recently? There's nothing lined up for the rest of the year, but in the new year, I think hopefully Falmouth, Exeter, and then a London gig with Sunny Jim.
Oh, Sunny Jim.
Yeah.
No way.
So, are you going to stick to that underground rap scene, or are you going to try and?
I'm just gonna do me, man. Like I've got an album I'm working on, which is like commercial sounding, new school stuff.
Like he said, he's got commercial sounding tracks. So,
but in my mind, I'm not taking the piss here. What are you thinking? You sort of seeing him like on GRM Daily and fucking like the next Morrison or something? Is that where you've got? Is that what you're seeing?
Why not?
I know. I'm just asking. I don't disagree personally.
Would you not like to see him in GRM Daily?
I actually don't disagree. No, I don't disagree. I actually think that there is a real lack, of substance in rap at the moment. It's all, this, that, chinging and what brands and all that in the mainstream. And I think the music goes in cycles. And very soon, I don't know when, but very soon, that's going to come back. Because what happens? It's why drum and bass.
Yeah, it goes.
It's why and I think that somewhere along the line, there will be that space will open up where the music audience just demands a good old fashioned barer. And I think that, mate, if there's fucking anyone to fill that space, mate, there's it's definitely someone who'd be on the list. Look, it's been brilliant, man. Honestly, I'm fucking gassed, mate. Like this whole journey of doing this thing was for us to kind of get people's stories out there.
Took us down memory lane.
Yeah, that's took me down memory lane.
Same with me.
It's been absolutely awesome. So
there's loads of things that I haven't remembered.
Bro, the worst thing is I could have talked for like 3 hours more with the amount of stuff there is. But
this could have been an all night podcast, but I think no one would have been leaving the studio. These people would have been like not been seen on camera because they would have murdered us. They would have strangled us with the wires and be like, "Fuck these guys." But seriously, listen. That's it. I think we're there, aren't we? Oh, one more. This and that. You got to answer.
Go on.
Seeing as you've answered every single one, I ain't gonna like this. Tiz or Sunny Black?
Sunny Black.
I knew he's fucking.
Sorry, bro. I've known him. I've known him long,
I knew
man.
he was gonna say that.
And he's not pulling up to my yard.
Yeah, to be fair, I've never had to pull up to
Yeah,
Sonny's
no,
yard
no,
either.
no, no.
I used to pull up to him to pick him up.
I set that up, brother. It was
All
up
right,
to him.
how about old school?
What?
One from the camera lady, Biggie or Tupac?
Biggie, all day long.
Yeah, I'm Tupac. Who are you?
East Coast all day, bro.
James Tupac, you're Biggie.
Yeah, big man. Big.
Yeah,
Yeah, big all day.
East Coast all
Big
day,
all
man.
day. Yeah,
Fucking hell,
I'm
kicking the
Tupac.
door. Yeah,
All
thank
day.
you very much.
Yeah, big.
Don't
all
get
day,
me
mate.
wrong, I like
Bruv,
Tupac.
Listen
I don't love him.
Listen to the multi-syllable rhyming on Everyday Struggle. Yeah, remember it was 94. Man said I had the master plan. I'm in the caravan on my way to Maryland when my man 2Tex to take over these projects. They call him 2Tex. He took 2Tex, and when he starts to bust, he likes to ask who's next.
that's when
In 1994.
That's when Diddy was rubbing oil all over him.
Stop it, man. Don't speak on Chris like that. Although, just very quickly, I know we've kind of gone off.
Big
but,
up Biggie.
You know, don't get his credit for like that and that G-rap, cool G-rap.
We say that again.
You ever listen to much cool G-rap?
Only the features he's done with the people I do listen to, which is probably a bad thing to say.
Yeah, G-rap
really,
is like that guy that didn't get that credit.
Yeah. And a lot of people, to be fair, a lot of people in the scene that I'm from, they credit him.
Yeah, they do. He's a
give him
huge
his flowers,
influence
man.
on you, mate. Cool G-rap has a huge influence on UK hip.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
anyway, look, we could do this all
Let
night.
let them know where they can catch you, Dots.
Yeah.
In that camera right there.
So
Instagram,
official,
social media.
official Dots on Instagram. I have actually got a TikTok that I very rarely use. That's officially Dots because someone already took official Dots, obviously. Facebook, I got a page, Dots. But yeah, Instagram's really the main one. Spotify, fucking everywhere that you can stream music, and YouTube. Just type in Dots, DOTZ.
And if you get a chance, if you're down in Exeter and Falmouth, whatever,
Listen to his music.
yeah, come see him at a show because I've seen this guy live, not in many years. I did see some recent videos, and that is a sight to behold as well. And yeah, I won't reveal too much, but hopefully you'll be on a stage in our town next year on something that is very big, which is a place I think you need to be. So look, on that note, I think it's time to
100%.
wrap it up. Sonny Black, it's been a pleasure, my brother.
Absolutely wicked, man. Love it. Brilliant. Thank you very much to all the cameramen and women, JG Visuals, Mac Studios, as always. Limelight TV, big up yourself. Have we forgotten anyone?
No, don't think
The
we
audience that was here.
Audience that came, yeah. Like, subscribe, notifications. Oh, one thing we haven't mentioned. One thing we haven't mentioned.
Subscribe.
I'm on TikTok. Spanner in the Works podcast episode 5. We're done.
Big up, Dots.
Big up.
Thank you so much, guys. See you next episode. Peace out. Like, subscribe, mash the button.